you know what? The audio wasn't working on the first part of the video, so I'm going to have to edit that. Let's go ahead and let's hit the intro one more time here. Sorry about that on the podcast. I guess on the podcast side, I'll just edit from this to the everything except the second intro. But let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started. Sorry for everyone on the YouTube side. Looks like I don't know why the OBS every so often will just completely lose the soundboard. And on Dark Tower Palaver, it's threw some error to me about the audio, so it had me look. And I thought because I said it would be fine, but apparently
not.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started on episode 74, where we are talking Harry Potter 5.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
Hello and welcome to Geekery Abides, episode 74.
Take two.
Yeah, on the podcast side, it all looks normal except for what Peter just said there. But either way, on the live stream side, we had a little bit of a kerfuffle. And I guess on the live stream, people are watching in the future won't know because I'll just try to edit that out of the video so it'll just start where it should have started. So, but yeah, we're here for episode 74. We're talking Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix. So,
yes.
And my name is Tad, and with me in the co-pilot seat as always is Peter.
How you doing?
And it is December. So I guess the first thing I want to mention just from the very top is we did move next episode forward a day. So it is on the 19th of December. We also moved it back an hour because I know that Fridays are a little bit more work days for most people. So it should, wherever you are right now in time, I guess if you have it on the YouTube side, just check it because I did change the time. So it's an hour later than normal though. And same thing for our other show. But yeah, we'll be doing our a fun little Friday episode, which will be a new thing maybe for Geekery Abides. I know we've done that on Dark Tower a few times over the years, but
I don't know if we've done
on Geekery Abides, I think we've been fairly consistent with our release schedules. So, either way, so that's what we got coming. And then on top of that, I guess you may have looked and spoiled yourself a little bit already, but I have plugged in most of my dates for 2025 or 2026.
I went in and plugged in a whole bunch. I texted you and you never responded to my text, so
I fixed it though.
Okay,
but yeah, so if all goes according to plan, which the card's subject to change, you never know when some stuff happens. I've only got one open date for 2026.
Jeez. I actually did want to talk to you. Remind me afterwards. We need to talk about that show wrap at the end of the year. I think we need to swap episodes.
What do you mean?
The 2027 look ahead. Yeah, but it's the second to last episode.
Yeah, no, that's on purpose.
Yeah. We need to swap.
No.
Yeah.
It's got to be there.
Why?
Doomsday?
Oh. Well, it doesn't say that, does it?
A little movie called Doomsday? No, but it's your episode, so I didn't want to plug it in there and assume.
Well, if it's Doomsday, plug it in. What the hell are we talking about here?
Yeah, there's the thing on that column there, Doomsday. Yeah, so that's why that year the look ahead for 2027 is indeed on episode 99.
It's too wide. I can't. You got to remember, Tad, not all of us have an 18-foot wide monitor, all right? You make these sheets that are like 18 feet wide. I can't see that far over.
I can't
see. Now I can see it, now that you shortened it.
I can't see, boss. Yeah, so that's...
yes, that will be... Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Doomsday is definitely going to take precedent there. So the 2027 look ahead is episode 99, which is the very beginning of December, which is whatever. So
1 year from yesterday.
Yeah, so from my perspective, a good chunk of my year is going to be Better Call Saul. I mean, not a majority of the year, but it's a healthy chunk of the year because I got 11 episodes and 6 of those are going to be Better Call Saul. So
yeah.
I guess that puts it right about half. But then I also have Scream 7, which I will say if there's one that might get canceled, it might be that one and swapped out for something else. We'll see, because we haven't necessarily always dedicated a full episode to a new Scream movie. The Mando movie is pretty much going to stick for sure.
Absolutely.
The Odyssey is another one that might get canceled. So I have a couple that are a little bit flexible, but for now I've tentatively plugged in the talked about the Odyssey, and then Clayface for episode 93, and then we got Better Call Saul. I tried to break it up to where it's not just like every single month, but there is I only had so much wiggle room. So that'll be kind of what it looks like on 2026,
because I've never seen Better Call Saul. So
we're gonna do that, kind of similar to what we're doing with Harry Potter now. Looks like you plugged in that we're finishing out Harry Potter. I guess we could throw that out there now. Right now, February, we got the 6th movie, and then we've got the 7th movie in April, and the 8th movie in May. So
I wanted to get them done before the summer hit.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Is that when the show's supposedly starting? When does the show start?
Oh man, I don't know.
Not that it matters. But that is something we'll have to think about. But either way, so I haven't got anything built out on the YouTube side. But we do have a good chunk of the idea of what 26 looks like, because there's a lot of big shit coming out. So
2027 is the current expectation. No release date has been announced.
Okay, because I said I have the Mando movie. You've got Spider-Man and Brand New Day on one of your episodes. I was gonna plug that in, but I decided not to because I didn't want to presume. Although you may want to move it though, because it is episode 90 is the weekend it comes out.
Oh,
so,
I was putting it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, so I assume that would be there too. So Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Clayface. We got a number of big things coming out. Doomsday, and then
all the movies are landing like Supergirl, Spider-Man, and Doomsday all land on my episodes. Excellent.
Well, I had a bunch land on mine too. So
I mean, you don't have Doomsday though. So
yeah. So. So 26 got a lot of fun stuff coming ahead. Then, of course, if you want to, on the YouTube side, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Otherwise, Palpatine will appear and give Peter lightning teeth.
Hey, stop that. Nope.
And then if you want to email the show, let me go ahead and hit the slide over there. If you want to email the show, you can do that at Tad at geekeryabides.com, TADD, or Peter at geekeryabides.com. And you, of course, we do every other episode. So if you want to email someone about their show, send the email their direction. Or if you want to surprise, one of us on something, send it to the other one. That is a way to be part of the show on the email side. Of course, you could join us on the live streams here on the YouTube side as well. We don't have a URL yet, but just search out Geekery Abides on YouTube and you'll find us. You could subscribe and join us for the live streams every other week.
More people that subscribe is what leads to us getting a URL.
Yes, indeed. So if I remember right from the Dark Tower days, I think it's 100 is the precipice of getting a custom URL. So all right, let's go ahead and jump on over to watching, reading, playing. So I guess it's your episode. So you
I'll go first. Watching has been very sparse for me, actually. Welcome to Derry, the couple episodes of that since the last time we recorded. I did rewatch the first Lethal Weapon. I bought the whole collection on Blu-ray without thinking properly. I feel kind of ashamed of this. I looked on streaming, didn't find it. Got a gift card for my birthday, so bought Lethal Weapon, 4-pack Blu-ray. I own them all on DVD.
That's a worthy upgrade, though.
That's a worthy upgrade.
To Blu-ray?
Okay.
Yeah.
It also was
I'm getting to the point where I'm purging DVDs out of my collection.
It was also on sale, 4 movies for I think it was $11 or $12 on Black Friday.
Yeah.
So it's like, got it.
And it's fitting because you're too old for this shit now.
I am too old for this shit.
Yeah.
My wife walked out of the other room. She was working when I was watching it. She walked out right when Danny Glover said that. She's like, "Hey, I'm too old for this shit." And then obviously Harry Potter, which is Harry Potter's long lost cousin.
Yes.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I also watched. Still not reading anything. Work is just too crazy for me to read anything. I listen to music.
Yeah.
Barely keeping up with the 2 podcasts that I have. Luckily, one of them took a break while they're trying to find a new host. And so I only have one podcast to listen to. And even then, I'm having a hard time keeping up with them. It might need to be my car thing to listen to.
Yeah.
Playing, on the other hand, having the long weekend for Thanksgiving and my birthday, I played Subnautica, finished that. Played some Battlefield 6, played some Ready or Not. I started only my second ever playthrough of Red Dead Redemption.
First one.
Not 2. The first one.
So you can take care of Dutch.
And then everything stopped because my wife asked me to play 7 Days to Die, which is the zombie game that I am obsessed with. It's the whole reason I bought a gaming PC. So every moment that we've had, we are playing 7 Days to Die together. So, yeah.
All right.
Over 2,000 hours played in that game just on my PC, and not counting the time I spent on Xbox either. That is a lot of time killing zombies.
Yeah.
What
So
about you?
on my side, I
Oh, shit. Stranger Things.
fe-
I forgot. I watched Stranger Things too. We binged it the day it came out. I did forget that one.
okay, so a few weeks ago, somewhere in there, I was at work and I needed something to listen to, and I decided to throw something on I hadn't listened to in a while, and I have a chronological playlist for Johnny Cash, and it was
We
like
were listening to it yesterday when we went and got lunch.
10 or 12 hour playlist. I ended up over the course of a couple days listening to that whole playlist. So because of that, after last episode, I know I promised to watch something else that we talked about, but I didn't. I threw on Walk the Line. I haven't watched that in a long time. So
Nice.
great movie. Really enjoyed watching that. And yeah, I've been on a Johnny Cash kick a little bit. I also started a new show on Netflix, one that I think I saw a clip of one of the scenes called Manifest.
Okay.
So it's plane takes off from Jamaica, very Dark Tower-ish.
Yep.
And have some nasty turbulence.
Okay.
And then they land, and all kinds of cops and agents and shit are there. And look, what the hell? It's like,
Oh, yeah, they've been gone for like 5 years,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah, the plane just vanished in the air.
And then all of a sudden it
from their
lands.
perspective, though, it was a totally normal flight except
Yeah.
for some turbulence. So, and they did all the great character stuff. Like there's some families that break up because it's an oversold flight. So there's like some that are on their normal flight, others delay, and the ones that delayed are on the flight that this happens to. And so like there's one family that has a set of twins, and they get separated. So now you
Oh,
got
now
one
they're
twin
different
that's
ages?
like, yeah, one twin.
Oh,
like
that's crazy.
Yeah, you got that. A couple, people that's spouse or boyfriend moved on and have
Ooh,
new
we got
relationships.
some snap kind of situations.
Yeah, but so it's interesting so far. I will say it's not like great, but the watching that one scene of them landing where they're just like, "What the fuck's going on?" and shit, and they're like, "Yeah, you took
were
off.
gone
You
for
took off
5
in 2013. It is now November of 2018." And
Wait, what?
I was like, sold. I'll give it a shot. So
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
it's pretty interesting. So
My
far.
wife says it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, it's kind of a fun show. We'll see how it pans out. It's certainly not like the highest end like prestige TV
Sure.
or anything, but it's been fun.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Also, still watching Pluribus, although I am now an episode behind.
You're also
because
an
I
episode
didn't-
behind of Welcome to Derry, right?
That's true, but I think that's I was going to say that's Welcome to Dairies tonight. Once we're done here, I'm going to eat, but Pluribus is now also unwatched. So,
Tad, you know what?
Shame.
You're getting the shame bell. You're
Shame.
falling behind, sir.
yeah.
How dare-
Dude,
how
there
dare
was
you.
one night after work, I literally got home. I had a small bite to eat, like almost a snack, and I turned something on, like a 10-minute YouTube video, and I fell asleep before the video was even over. I just passed out in my chair. So I woke up like 3
Work-
hours later.
Yeah, work has been
So-
crazy for the both
So
of us,
I just ultimately Welcome to Derry. I didn't have a chance to watch it Sunday, and then the entire week I was like, "There's just no way I have the oomph to actually
Yep.
give it the attention it needs." And then we did our hangout for our other show, which usually throws me off on Pluribus a bit. And then I have been deceiving you. I did actually cave and watch Stranger Things.
You did watch Stranger Things. I asked him twice this week if he watched, and he's like, I don't know.
I never
'Cause
lied.
initially,
I just diverted.
initially he said, I'm not watching it when it's broken up into 3 segments. I'll wait until New Year's Day, and then I'll just binge the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
The only reason
I asked him point blank. I said, are you going to watch Stranger Things? And he said, I don't know. So that's a lie. You did know.
no.
You did
No,
know.
I don't know if I watched it at that point. I don't remember. But yesterday you asked me like if like whatever, like do you
Yeah.
decide on Stranger Things? I'm like I'm not making decisions. I'm too tired for that.
That's true. He
And-
did say that.
And so that's
So he lied.
I didn't directly answer your question. I
He
just
lies.
no, I
He
didn't.
lies.
No. But yeah, no. I ultimately I was just my only concern was with the memeage that happens.
Oh, it's
That
rampant.
although honestly though I don't think there's anything that could have been spoiled, so I would say I probably regret having watched it
No?
at this point. There's nothing that happened in my opinion that's like spoiler enough to like ruin anything. Not that it would ruin.
nothing
I'm not,
like, oh my God.
No, like
Not
yeah.
even the end of episode 4?
No.
Wow.
No. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there wasn't any like crazy like, oh, Hopper died or anything like. That's what I was like concerned
Ted, you
is
can't
like.
say that. People are going to think that he lives now. You can't be out here misleading
I mean, he's already
people.
died. He's already died once.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, no. I mean, it's good. It's. I'm not against. I'm just saying that I was concerned about spoilers, and then after I got to the end of it, I'm like, well, I was kind of expecting a big like thing to happen that would be a spoiler, and it didn't. So I was like, oh, I guess.
I feel like the end of episode 4 was kind of a big thing, but okay.
Is that the last episode? Yeah, because Darabont's the 3rd episode. I did
Yeah.
look that up. So
Yeah,
good old Frank Darabont. So
I'm of a different opinion than Tad on this one. I think there was a pretty big reveal at the end of episode 4, but okay,
yeah, I don't know.
if you say so.
And I've not seen anything that would have. Yeah, so I've seen some things here and there. It was also funny because as I was watching it, I happened to see memes like right after I watched the episode on a couple moments.
Oh,
where I was
really?
just like, oh, like something about one of the kids' moms or whatever, and I was just like, I happened to see it like right after I watched it. So I'm like, oh, well, that was
like it knew.
yeah, it's like that was very good timing. So I'm enjoying it for sure. I really wish they would have just got off their asses and got this done quicker because I will say that the kids are too fucking old. Like it's just it's not even like squint your eyes and you can pretend that they're
there's a scene
kids.
where one of the kids protects someone behind them, and those are very obviously children.
Yeah.
And you can definitely be like, yeah, that's an adult protecting children, not a kid protecting other kids. You know, like, like that's a full grown, that's a man. You know.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting is like I was thinking about it because like the Duffer Brothers pitched themselves to do it, but they were not well known, so they were told fuck off. Like we were not trusting you with something that's that big cachet. And like I at the same time, I don't think Warner Brothers was super sold on doing a new version of it. I think there was like some stuff in the works a little bit. There was the one guy that was in True Detective season 1, the director. He was signed on at one point.
Kurosawa or something like that?
Fukunaga, Cary Fukunaga, and he was going to have what's his name from the Marvel movies. He did the gold guy from Guardians. He was going to be Will Poulter.
Yeah,
he was going to be Pennywise for Carrie. So that still ruins me because I see him and I'm like Pennywise, even though he's never once played Pennywise. But it was like in the early days when Carrie was like developing his version, it was like that was going to be his Pennywise. And I was just like, I just got that in my head where it was like, and I never saw was the one where they're like drug dealers or they're hired to like smuggle drugs and they're a family. With Ted Lasso.
We are the Millers.
Yeah, he's the kid in that and stuff. So
you
it's
guys
like
are getting paid.
But I've never seen any of that stuff. So it's just like for me, like he will always be associated with Pennywise, even though he's never played Pennywise.
Played Pennywise.
So yeah, like but yeah, so there was that, and then the Duffer Brothers did. So like the one thing I started thinking about though is all of the people that were rejected on something and it caused a much greater thing to be, and I'm not gonna say greater because I don't think Stranger Things is greater than it, but like caused some large thing, right?
Yeah.
Lucas was turned down on Buck Rogers, that sparked Star Wars. Spielberg was turned down on James Bond, and then that's when Lucas pitched him on his idea for Indiana Jones. There's some other ones too. You get those things though where it's just like, I mean, Rocky came to exist because Stallone couldn't get a role in Godfather. He tried to get a couple. I think he tried to get for Paulie, Connie's husband. And he just got turned down, and then he got turned down. I think he auditioned for Godfather 2 and couldn't get a role there, and he's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm never going to make it in this industry unless I do it myself. So then he goes out and writes it's a fucking Oscar winning movie, Rocky. Like you just get these elements where like people being turned down can sometimes cause like really big things to come to exist, and I think the Duffer Brothers fit right in that, right, where like they were just not known people, and so Warner Brothers like, we're not going to fucking give you a potentially a very lucrative thing called It. But it does make you think, what would a Duffer Brothers It have looked like? Oof, that's an interesting thought.
It is. It makes me worried for everyone who would be involved with that.
Yeah, indeed.
It would be dark and eerie and very, very good.
Yeah, but I am enjoying it though. I think it's good so far. I do think that last episode may be the best episode they've ever done for a show.
I think it's easy that it's everyone can be like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Name one." Like
My problem is I also didn't get to rewatch it, so
That's true.
I couldn't be fresh enough to tell you. But I know there's a couple episodes
Yeah.
that were like high 9s on IMDb, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like I know
This
there's
one's holding at like a 9.7, 9.8 right now.
9.7.
Like it is
Yeah.
crazy. I saw.
Yeah,
I think you shared it with us, like the Stranger Things graphic where it shows like all the episodes. All of them are like above 8, 8.5. There's a few that are in the 9s, and then there's that one episode that's in 7s or 6s.
Yeah, which I actually liked that episode personally because it's like they tried something new, you know, and like I'm not gonna like I don't know, I'm not gonna hate on them for trying something new, and you know what, give them credit because like people didn't like it, and guess what, they haven't done since. They haven't gone back to that. They haven't pursued that. Although there was a payoff from that episode.
Sure was.
So I'm gonna say wasn't a waste. So
I will just say, Tad, that as a fan of the Dark Tower, you did not like the flashback that took you out of the main story for an entire book the first time through.
well,
Just
yeah,
saying.
that's different though.
That was dude, the cliffhanger before that episode to go into that episode and have an entire episode not dealing with that cliffhanger was brutal. That was pretty brutal.
I don't know.
Even my second time through watching it, I was like,
So I ended up watching like a 15-minute video that kind of recapped everything you needed to know before watching it.
There you go.
Although there wasn't anything that was that big a thing that I would have like necessarily forgot, but yeah, it's it's good stuff. Enjoying it, can't wait for the rest of it. Luckily there's not that big of a break between because it's Christmas and then New Year, so it's only a week between that. Because and then have you
3 episodes and then 1 episode?
and then you've seen the theatrical thing
yeah,
they're
I did
doing
hear about that. Yeah,
I've also been I'm on enough forums to know that they were like pretty much instant sellouts. Like they're like
makes sense.
every single seat is sold out. They do nothing does that anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
even like big Marvel movies.
We've
We've
had
been to some
Yeah.
pretty big ones, but it's like, were they big enough that the front row was sold?
No.
Exactly. These ones are
that
like
front
there's-
section. I don't think has sold very well for any Marvel movie since.
I think the
Endgame.
only one we've ever seen that people were in the front row is Endgame and Infinity War.
That's what I'm saying. Since Endgame,
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
no,
been
those are the
one.
only two ever. I don't think there's ever been another Marvel movie that we actually saw people in those front rows.
I think Age of Ultron did.
I don't know about that. Especially because that was before a lot of the recliners and shit. So I don't know
That's
that there was
true.
anybody up
That's
there.
true.
So maybe children, but nobody cares about them. And of course, I did watch Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix because what the fuck would this episode be if I didn't?
I would have to throat punch you if you didn't. My wife in the chat says watching Welcome to Derry, Stranger Things football, wrestling, and duly noted streams. I guess that's true. I have been watching wrestling. Reading, she is reading Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream and You Like It Darker.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her about it, so I guess she hasn't listened to it for a while.
It's
and
a
then,
good one.
and then playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and obviously 7 Days to Die with me. So
And then I'm also reading The Outsider,
sorry,
but
yeah.
it's been a little bit slow. I think I maybe read 10 minutes of it since the last episode.
yeah.
So it hasn't been a lot. And then playing Ready or Not, and then I also threw on Red Alert 2 for a couple of games.
Oh, that's always fun.
So that's
fun.
That's a good one. And it was funny because I'd already had it pre-set up. When there's that really big snow map for skirmish, and I always play that, and I always put 2 to 3 enemies. And a lot of times I'll do like, if I do 2 enemies, I'll do like one is like normal, and then one's like higher. And like it was already set to that. I'm like, I haven't played in a while. I'm like, I could do it. So I yeah. When it's up higher, it's a pain in the ass though, because
Dude, they are rough.
they will come at
My favorite map and the one that I always play is Wild Animal Park. No navy, except they build navies in the rivers, which irritates the fuck out of me because I sometimes forget to check the box that when the buildings are destroyed, they're defeated.
Yeah.
So you have to go
Short
find
game.
their fucking Soviet submarines, goddamn bastards. Which
Yeah.
means you have to blow up bridges and go. It's irritating.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So that's it for me. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and let me make sure I got the actual next slide correct. Let's move on over to the main topic. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the timestamps because I got to actually like do that now for our chapters. So
I gotcha. 25.
yeah, maybe I should have you write them down as we
I could.
transition. But yeah,
You
I
can
think
just tell me.
I think I roughly have where they're all at. So
Okay.
that's good.
All right, so we're talking Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It's the 5th book. It is the first book. No, sorry, the movie, not the book. It is the 5th book, but we're talking the movie. It is the first book that I read when it launched, like right after it launched. I think we got 1 copy of my family. My sister was reading it. My mom read it. Then my sister was reading it, and me, my mom, and my dad went to go do something up in Idaho with my uncle on his ranch. And I was so annoyed that my sister wouldn't let me take the 1 copy that we had, that my mom bought me a copy, and it was from Idaho. So it's just like, I just remember that about this book.
Mm.
So
I was just looking up the
Yeah.
where's the book at for the last one? What's the date on it?
Last time it came,
It's 2005 is the book before this. When in 2005 though? Because I kind of feel like this book is the one that I remember like putting out at midnight and stuff at my job.
Be.
But 2005, it just depends on when it came out. Book date. July
11th, 2007.
Oh wait, no, never mind. That's saying July 2000. That's not right.
July 11th, 2007 is when it was released.
No. I'm talking the one previous to that.
Oh,
the book before that.
It
was to the year 2000. So yeah, this would have been the first book that I put out. That wait, really? There was that big of a gap between these? There's no way that's real. There was a 7-year gap between these books. 2007. You just said for this book.
That might have been the movie.
Okay,
that was the movie.
Okay,
the book was released on, as soon as it'll load, June 21st, 2003.
Okay, so this isn't the one. I would have been the next one that I probably put out then. So, okay. I don't know why this one, the title's a little bit more resonant in my head. Maybe the movie was a little bit more, was more, it was on my radar more when this movie came out maybe. So the title was a little bit more familiar to me. So you read it in Idaho, huh?
Yeah, the first time reading it, and I don't think it was.
Wait, it was bought in Idaho, or you just read it in Idaho?
Bought it and read it in Idaho.
Okay, so was it made up of a potato?
No, it was not.
Okay, it was actually paper?
Which shocked me, and I did take a bite out of the paper just to be sure.
Just to make sure.
Just to be sure.
That's fair. It's Idaho.
As one does.
It's Idaho.
Yeah.
So
everything,
any Idaho listeners, don't be mad about
everything is potato. I mean, I just went on vacation up to Idaho this past summer. We went to Yellowstone. We drove through. We stopped in a town up there that has a freaking potato museum, so they don't have room to talk. All right.
Yeah.
If they get a little upset with us.
Yeah.
I do have an email from John from Buffalo.
Do you do watching, reading, playing too? I was about to say
he does do watching, reading, playing.
I meant to mention that when we were doing that because I'm like, usually when John sends emails for most episodes, and he usually does the watching, reading, playing.
So I'll do his watching.
I forgot to remind you.
I'll do his watching, reading, playing, but I think I'm going to hold off on his email until the end after we have a chance to talk about it.
Okay.
So watching Welcome to Derry, Pluribus, and Stranger Things, rereading Pet Sematary, and then playing Donkey Kong 64.
Playing a lot of 64 stuff. Respect.
All right, so we're diving into Order of the Phoenix. This is the dark turn for Harry Potter. Is this book.
I thought about that, but at the same time though, it isn't, because this whole series there's a lot of darkness in it.
There's quite a bit of darkness.
There's no
series.
Empire Strikes Back turn for darkness in this series that I can see so far, because I feel like we've had darkness throughout. Like I don't think we had a New Hope where it's like a little bit more bubbly. I feel like every single one of them, like we were talking about like racial shit and stuff in the first one with like whatever, to where it's just like, I just don't think this series is like, I know we've talked about how like it kind of evolved with the kids or whatever, but it's like, I don't know how that works, because even the early ones, there's enough darkness in them where it's like,
I think it's not as obvious darkness, especially if you're an 11-year-old reading it versus like if you're an adult reading it. It's a lot different.
Catch it more maybe.
I think that Goblet of Fire is where it really does take a hard left because Cedric dies.
Yeah, you get the guy dying for sure. I did have to Google him to figure out who we were talking about when he got mentioned here. I'm like, is that fucking Batman?
Yep,
like, it is. All right.
Yep. It is Batman. I mean, they show him in the movie, so.
Eventually, but first they mention his name. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, first thing first. We have to talk about her.
No, I thought you were talking about the fucking goddamn family again.
Oh,
like, why hasn't he killed these fucking people yet? Thought we were done with them. God damn it. Fucking Jesus Christ. I will say, though, I did confuse the fat kid with the dopey looking kid. I thought he was the wizard.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Neville.
I thought it was him. I was like, oh, he's hanging out with the wizard outside of it all. And then then they went back to the house, and I was like, oh my God, it's not him.
It's not him.
It's even worse. Like, why didn't he kill? Let the fucking thing kill him then. I was like, oh, he's saving the dumb, goofy kid. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then it turns out it's that kid. I'm like, you should have let him fucking die.
Yeah, he calls him Big D, Dudley. That's his.
Well, that's a dumb name too. So it's like that's a name that could easily be the dumb wizard kid too. Yeah. So I remember he had a goofy name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if there's any. What did you?
Neville.
That's a goofy name in my mind. If you're from the UK,
we're not from the UK, so there are some differences.
No, for sure. But for me, that sounds like a goofy name. Like I'm just saying, if I were in elementary and there's a kid named that, he would have got picked on.
I did not think that the Dudleys would come up at all when discussing this movie.
They're in it for God. They're in here for God's
I'm
sake.
surprised. You thought we were done.
Yeah, I thought we were fucking done with them, and I never had
Oh,
to
that's
deal
right,
with them
because the
again.
last movie opens up with him just at the burrow. He's not at his.
I thought wasn't he with the redheads?
Yeah, the burrow. That's their house. Sorry.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I was
wrong.
just like, oh, I thought that was the new norm.
Yeah.
He's just now adopted by them or whatever.
Nope.
Like not like they would tell from having 25 kids to 26. Who the fuck cares? Like,
Nope. Still going back to the Dudleys every summer. Spoiler alert, Ted. He goes back next summer too. So
I still hope they die. That's my hope.
Speaking of hoping people die, we have to talk about the big new character in this book. In this movie. I keep thinking about the book.
I Leo memed.
Professor Dolores J. Umbridge.
I Leo memed in that early scene because
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
like,
I've seen her enough just in the normal
Yeah.
pop culture thing. I wouldn't have remembered her name, but like I remember in the Dark Tower show we've done a number of things where we talked about most hated characters in like literature or whatever else or pop culture, and I always looked at those back in the day because Mrs. Carmody inevitably was going to be on those lists. And
If someone has seen The
usually
Mist-
she was very, very high on those lists. And I just know that there was another heavy hitter that happened to show up on those lists a lot, and she has a very punchable looking face. And so, like, the second I saw her in that whole trial thing, I was just like, oh.
Hey, I don't like her.
Yeah. So the whole time I was just waiting. I'm like, okay, let's see if this is all deserved or if this is all just blown out of proportion.
And so the verdict is...
Yeah, even early on, I'm like, okay, I could see it. And then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I could see. I was hoping she died, but I'm getting the sense that she didn't.
She did not.
The centaurs?
Centaurs, yep.
Yeah, I was hoping they would
carry her off.
I was hoping they would have just killed her there. Or the giant would have just twisted her head off like a fucking Coke bottle.
I'm not even going to be mad because it's Umbridge we're talking about. So
Yeah.
there is a little scene at the end when the newspapers are flashing past before they go back to Harry in his dorm. Umbridge rescued from centaurs and facing Inquisition is what it says.
Okay.
So she is rescued from the centaurs in the book. Dumbledore just goes strolling into the secret, the Forbidden Forest, and then just comes back with her. It's like, wait, this whole herd of centaurs, there's like 50 of them in the book. Like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, he just walks out there and just comes back with her. It's like, dude's got aura. Like, he's just a badass.
Well, he finally
motherfucker.
showed us
So,
some Gandalf level stuff in this
Like,
one too.
that is definitely on the list. We will talk
No,
about
I know.
it.
I've been waiting for it.
So I have to ask Tad, you don't like Umbridge, do you?
I actually kind of did a little.
Ah, damn it!
I did. I was like,
Oh, you're just the fucking worst. I knew it. I knew it. Ah.
there's part of you I'm just like, she's a deliciously awesome villain. Like she just your wife also does not approve.
I told her. I'm like, Tad's gonna like her. He likes the bad guys. He always does. So
And okay, I'm not going to go into the realm of like it's Flag where it's, she's a good guy, like Flag's a good guy, of course, or anything like that, or Palpatine's the rightful ruler of the galaxy, nothing like that.
or that Thanos
but-
did nothing wrong.
Yeah, he's just making the galaxy a better place. But with her, it comes down to there's just times you can look and appreciate a villain and just go, that is a really good fucking villain.
Okay. And then okay, you're not an asshole then for this one. Okay. No, because I can appreciate a good villain too. I can appreciate that Flag is one of the best written villains in all of literature and everything. I'm just not delusional to think that he's the hero of any story ever. And that's what
she was far too McCarthyism for me to actually align with her.
She was so evil, dude. Like the lines thing with it carving into the back of it.
Yeah.
That just mild spoiler. That's a fucking permanent scar. That's not something that's like magical that it's like, ow, and then it goes away. No, it's like fucking etched in their skin.
Yeah.
And for her to be sitting in that fucking chair watching the whole Dumbledore's army fucking basically self-inflict harm on themselves because she made them. Dude, that just goes you
Joffrey.
show, like,
Joffrey's
how evil.
Your wife brings up Joffrey.
Yes.
Another good one.
Joffrey. If I ever met the actor that played Joffrey, I would be like, you are one of the best actors I have ever seen in my life, and I also fucking hate your character. But I love you. Same thing with the woman that played Umbridge. I want to punch that character so hard in the face that I feel what the back of her head feels like.
Yes.
But the actress, oh my God, I worship that you're so amazing at being able to bring this character to life.
Yeah.
Like, I hate Umbridge with a fire
I have to
of
imagine,
1,000 suns.
I have to imagine that would have been one of the bigger talking points going into the movie. Like, as the movie is about to come out, it's like, how are they
doing Umbridge?
Yeah.
Who's going to play Umbridge? How are they? She is so much insufferable in the book. She has this little thing in the audiobook does it so well, is that her little, she like and like interrupts Dumbledore in his speech.
Yeah.
And like the welcome speech. She has this thing in the book where she goes, hem, and it just, dude, it sends a bolt of rage through me every time I hear it in the book.
Write this down real quick. Audiobook for the 5th. Get the sound bite.
You stop that.
You wait.
No.
There's an empty spot right here on my board, sir.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There's a button. Oh, and also
Gary Oldman.
Probably the biggest Gary Oldman that we've had in this series up to this
point. It is a lot of Gary Oldman for sure. We will be talking about him.
He had a very Dracula vibe.
It did.
Like, which is crazy because we're talking 10, 15 years removed from Dracula. But like, I don't know if it's just the costumes.
Yeah.
Like, does he have a mustache?
Yeah,
in
he's
this?
Got the
okay.
The
so maybe that's part of it too.
Mustache and the goatee.
Yeah, which is very Dracula, as well as like some of the costume choices, which is like
he's in London.
Yeah, it all fits. So,
my wife says it's so grating. Yeah, don't get that soundbite, please, Ted. Don't. The evil laugh, of course. Ted's over here just like
that's
excellent.
That's just my innocent laugh, sir.
That's not innocent at all. So you did think Umbridge was a detestable human being.
Oh, I mean, because, like I said, like, even if nothing else, just my normal beliefs of history and stuff. Again, she's like McCarthyism.
Yeah.
Is like what she, like, rang to me.
Yep.
Is like just an echo of McCarthyism. It's like, there's no way I'm going to align with that.
You're too much against big government for that.
Yeah, and just, like, nonsense, like, what, it's just...
All boys and girls have to be 8 inches apart.
Yeah, did we establish... Yeah, that seemed interesting for a Utah born and raised person. Leave room for the Holy Spirit. At dances and stuff, right?
Yep.
So the one that she's working with that's also quite detestable, in charge of everything. He had a candy name of some kind.
Fudge?
Is that it? We've already
okay.
Yeah, we've already dealt with him.
I thought
right?
you said she. I was like, wait, who's he talking about? Oh, he. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have dealt with Fudge before.
And do we understand that he was kind of a piece of shit, or is that new?
So this is where I was saying at the end of last episode on Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, is that they don't really convey it very well in the movie, but in the book, there's a huge parting of ways where Cedric and Harry disappear from the maze. An hour or so later, Harry and Cedric's dead body come back on the portkey. And no one knows what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Harry tells everyone that Voldemort's back, that will listen. The problem is he doesn't get to tell everyone. Professor Moody takes him away. We find out that Professor Moody's not Professor Moody.
Yeah.
He's actually Barty Crouch Jr.
Yeah. Good. Glad to see him back, by the way.
Moody, yeah, it's great to see
old,
him.
Bill Hodges.
Yeah, Bill Hodges. Gleason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon Gleason.
Yeah. They make him take the Veritaserum. He tells them all the plan in the end of it. And then what happens is that, okay, so we have a witness. Not just Harry, but we have a witness to corroborate Harry's story, right? But what happens is when they take Harry up to the hospital wing, they summon Fudge, who's there for the Triwizard Tournament.
And he's like the Prime Minister, right?
He is the Prime Minister, the Minister of Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Prime Minister of Magic people. He feels threatened, so he summons a Dementor from Azkaban, and when they enter the room with Barty Crouch Jr., it performs the Dementor's kiss, which sucks out his soul, and he can't talk anymore. So now we lost our witness. So when Dumbledore tells Fudge, hey, Voldemort's back, Fudge just flat disbelieves it. So that's what you see at the beginning of this. They're trying to expel Harry. They're trying to discredit Dumbledore. The papers are making them look like fucking loony bins and everything.
So the villainous turns a little bit more in this story then. Maybe
Right.
some setup previous, but not full-bore villainish.
The book does a much better way of starting it, that Harry starts off the summer not knowing a goddamn thing. Voldemort just returned. Think about that. Darth Vader just returned. and the Empire came with him.
Oh, so Voldemort's not a bad guy then. is that
He's
what
absolutely a bad guy. That's what we are talking
Well, you just
about.
said Darth Vader, so
That's the bad guy. Sith, red lightsaber equals bad. Red equals bad, Tad. Look behind you.
no.
Blue is good.
Lies.
So
Deception.
he returns, and so Harry's just expecting murder and mayhem everywhere, and there's nothing. Crickets from Voldemort's camp. And so he's not reading the paper all the way through, but what they're doing in the paper, they make it a little bit different in the book, is that they're doing little subtle jabs.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy had a crazy story, so he's probably like Harry Potter. This guy wants us to believe everything he says, kind of like Dumbledore. Like little
Yeah.
jabs like that to discredit them throughout everything.
Yeah.
So you get to see that Fudge, yes, wholly doesn't believe that Voldemort's back, believes that Dumbledore's coming for his job and wants to take over the Minister of Magic job. That's solely what it is it's jealousy of that Dumbledore's better than him and that he's going to steal his job. So
I got that sense here, but I was like, the name's familiar, so I'm like, maybe he was in the previous movie, but I'm like, if we like set
it's
up
brief.
this,
It's brief.
yeah, if we set up this whole like that he's kind of a villainous person, like I don't remember any of it, so that's why I was like,
very brief at the end of the movie, and I think if I remember right, I even was like, they glossed over that way too much. They should have explained that better because they did not set up Order of the Phoenix properly for that.
yeah,
So we also did get several other new characters. We got Nymphadora Tonks, who plays a big role. She's the one that can change her hair, change her face, and everything like that.
yeah,
That's a magical trait that is a birth. What's it like a
defect,
not a
Birth
defect, but a
birthmark.
like a characteristic. Like you can only get it through birth. You can't
Oh,
learn it.
yeah, like a genetic.
A genetic ability kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's not something that Harry could learn or Hermione or Ron or anyone could learn. She is born that way kind of thing. So she can change her appearance at will to look like anyone. Very Mystique-like kind of thing.
Yeah,
There is a base there, so she can like extenuate her nose, change her eyebrows and stuff like that. But there is, you can see like she even like does like pig snouts and stuff like that.
yeah,
So you have her, you have Kingsley Shacklebolt, which was the black guy. First time we've seen him. He plays a big part. And then we have Luna Lovegood, which was the blonde girl. Do you remember her?
yeah.
Kinda.
The dead animals.
Kind of weird. Seeing the dead animals. We'll talk about the Thestrals in a second. And then the big one, Helen Bonham Carter, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Mm.
She's the evil witch at the end.
I could fix her.
Yeah, I can fix her. Todd. Of course you think so.
No, I did. I know. I like the transforming one a little bit more. She had enough gothy vibe there to like.
You like
all
you
right.
like
Yeah,
Tonks?
yeah.
She's seen as in the book. She's described as clumsy and funny. So yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So you liked the Thestrals, the animals that only people who have witnessed death that could see?
I mean, if I wanted a house, that's what I want mine shit named after because that's a badass fucking animal there.
Thestral, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
And there's a Harry Potter game. You can breed Thestrals and other animals and stuff like that. So it's really kind of cool to see like the baby ones and stuff like that. They did such a good job at their design, the character design, the way the visual design of them. So
Yeah. No. That was pretty cool for sure.
So we kind of glossed over it, but what are your thoughts about the Ministry of Magic, specifically Fudge and Umbridge? They don't believe Harry and Dumbledore that Voldemort's
I mean,
back.
you know what it reminded me of? Like, so she became like very McCarthyism to me, but I
Yeah.
felt Neville Chamberlain is what I was thinking with.
The denial of Hitler's rise to power, and Hitler wants to take over Europe. Everyone else is like, "What are you thinking?" And he's like, appeasement.
Appeasement. Yeah. Or I mean, maybe it's not exact because appeasement versus denial is
but it's it goes hand in hand kind of
yeah,
thing, right?
Yeah. So no, it's interesting. Have we been to that spot before?
With the Minister of Magic.
Because I feel like there's a couple new locations that we haven't seen before.
We have never seen Azkaban. That was the first time seeing that. The prison.
Wait, we didn't see that with the one.
We see like a. I don't think we ever see anything of it because he escaped in between books.
Okay.
With a Sirius.
Okay, so it's been talked about a lot, but not seen.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's just the prison out in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
The triangle
Yeah.
kind of thing. Very
The raft
the raft vibes, right? Out in the middle of the ocean, only accessible, but you see it
or
like
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz is a good one. You see it get blown open, and that's when Bellatrix comes out, along with 9 others, faithful Death Eaters. That the first time Voldemort fell, They stayed true and didn't deny. See, that's where you have the three types of people when Voldemort fell. Bellatrix and her group, loyal Death Eaters who did not go quietly. They fought to the end and got arrested or killed. You have the people who came out from under spells who were like, I was under Voldemort's controlling spell. Remember, we saw that is one of the illegal curses. So you can control people and make them do whatever you want. And then
Seems like a handy tool to have.
And then there's the third group, which is Lucius Malfoy, who claimed they were bewitched and fooled everyone into letting them be free. So,
yeah. All right. I feel like I thought there was something we saw that was very big and grand.
Oh, it's the Ministry of Magic. We've never been there before.
Okay, so that was new then.
Sorry.
Okay,
sorry. I was talking about Azkaban and got distracted.
I remember it being fairly striking of a location. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is new, but I was doubting myself.
Absolutely, it is.
But in the previous ones, we heard about people going there.
Yeah, that's where Ron's dad works. Is the Ministry of Magic. So a lot of wizards work there.
Yeah,
because it's a full-time job keeping wizards a secret from Muggles.
Yeah.
So, you liked the design of it?
Yeah, it was good aesthetic.
Yeah, and then you got the whole courtroom scene. You see how like wizard justice system works and everything. You put them on trial.
Yeah.
For the smallest tiny infraction, and hopefully you try and kill them. You know, that kind of. It's kind of what it felt like what Fudge was doing to Harry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then good old what's her name up there? Like, oh, there she is,
Umbridge.
And I knew it right away. I was like, oh yeah. So here's because I've been waiting because again, I just her reputation precedes her, so it's it's a matter of just waiting for that shoe to drop. And yeah,
yep,
it's and I knew it would be like full bore too. It wouldn't be like a thing where you just see her in one movie, but she doesn't really like pan out till the future. No, I knew like once you see her, it was like that was going to be her movie. So
it's kind of interesting that they didn't go into the specifics of how she ended up at Hogwarts because Dumbledore's headmaster. How would he allow this to happen, right?
Yeah.
What actually happened is, you know, the things that the caretaker is hammering into the wall and hanging up the whole bunch of them?
Yeah.
Those are magical educational decrees. And what happens is that they start interfering at Hogwarts. And so one of the ones they put into place is that if Dumbledore is unable to fill a position, the Ministry of Magic will fill it.
Oh.
Dumbledore was unable to fill the Defense Against the Dark Arts, so they put Umbridge in against his will.
It's been a troubling role throughout this series.
I mean, we're 0 for 5, sir.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe they should just put Gary Oldman in there. They can trust him.
We can't anymore.
Gary's eternal, sir.
I mean, unfortunately, Tad, where he's not. So.
Oh, Gary's eternal.
So we have the formation of Dumbledore's army to talk about.
Yeah.
They're done with the theoretical Defense Against the Dark Arts. They don't really go over it very well, but the owls, the OWLs, the test that they're supposed to take, that is like
SATs.
It's like more important than the SATs. It's like if you don't pass this, you can't continue in the subject to your final examinations at school. So it's almost like a pre-one. So imagine taking it like as a sophomore, and it's like, okay, you have to take your algebra test, Tad, but if you don't pass it, you don't get to go into geometry or trigonometry or anything like that. All right, take your social studies test, Tad. If you don't pass this, you don't get to go into U.S. history or world history.
Oh, I'd ace that.
I know you would, but that's kind of the thing is like, the professors, they're just like, no, we're not going to take anyone who doesn't do well in this test.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even going to be able to continue. And the problem is that
meritocracy is not a bad thing.
And so if you don't pass that final test, then you can't get a job in that line of work. So if a job requires you to pass potions final test, it's called newts, NEWTs. So if you don't
do it newt.
Exactly. You have owls and newts. If you don't pass the owl, you can't take the newt. If you don't pass the newt, if it requires potions, you can't get that job. You're just not qualified.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a lot of pressure for kids, you know?
Yeah.
So.
They better be able to handle it.
What did you think about Dumbledore's army? Was it,
I think it was funny because during the montage there, I think it's the first time that I'm like, this is going to be better as a series. Because I feel like we're just hand waving over a lot of time, and maybe it does that in the book too. But like,
nope.
I get a sense that it's just like, oh, we just jumped to Christmas in like a quick edit. It's just it was the point where I was like, the first time I think ever, because I don't know the books or anything.
Right.
It was the first time throughout this entire series I was like, we just skipped a whole lot of shit here. And like, it's the limitations of movies. I'm not, whatever, it is what it is. But it's like, it was the first moment where I'm like, I can't wait to see what this looks like on this TV series.
Yes.
Because we're not now going to be rushing through
there's
a year and a 2-hour movie.
I mean, there's this whole
shortest movie up to this point too, I think. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
A little bit short,
I think that's shorter than anything else. I think everything else has been 2.5+ hours.
Yeah.
So,
one of the big things, obviously, that gets eliminated from this one that's in the book is not a single Quidditch match.
Yeah, it's
no sport,
no great loss from my side.
It's a big.
I know some people love it,
it's
but
a big. It's a big plot point in the books because the guy who was Quidditch captain left school in year 3, and then we had the Goblet of Fire, the Triwizard Tournament in book 4. So they canceled Quidditch,
and he's now at the age where he would actually have been on the team, right?
In
Harry Potter is. Isn't he now?
You usually join the team in like year 2 or 3. It's just first years never get on. So, in year 5, actually, he gets made Quidditch captain. Correction. He doesn't get made Quidditch captain. A girl is made Quidditch captain who was on the team with him. Who's a year older.
And I will say, from like the perspective of filmmaking, like it probably is a waste of time at this point to show it because you've already spent time on it.
Yeah.
And you've got such a limited amount of real estate for your time. Now, yes, when we get around to a series, like they're not going to skip that kind of stuff probably because they don't need to. You got more breathing room in the show.
It's a big character thing because the position that the captain, his name was Wood, that Wood leaves is the keeper. It's the guy who protects the rings. Ron actually tries out for it and becomes keeper. So Ron and Harry play Quidditch together on the team.
Yeah.
And Ron's terrible. He's god awful.
Yeah.
So it's just like kind of a plot point with that. But then also he has Dumbledore's army that he's running. And you're 100% right that from Halloween to Christmas is a very important part because when they form Dumbledore's army, they kind of gloss over it in the movie, but in the book, she puts out an educational decree disbanding all student organizations. That includes Quidditch teams. That includes like
that is in the movie, but it's after they get like an idea there might be something going on.
Right.
So
they have their meeting and she gets wind of it and she's like, nope, banning everything. So it's like they even have to like appeal to her to even be able to play Quidditch as a team.
Yeah.
So for them to do that under her nose, and they're doing it in the Room of Requirement is where it is. What'd you think about that aesthetic with like the whole Filch isn't able to get in and the comedy behind that?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It felt very Doctor Strange-ish to me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, pocket dimension. Is that what it was in Doctor Strange? It just felt like that, where it's just like this kind of hidden thing or whatever. So yeah, no,
it's a very cool room. It's one of my favorite things in the Harry Potter universe. Is the Room of Requirement. It's an awesome room.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go too far into it because I think it does get explained a little bit better in later films. So
yeah.
And then we have the betrayal where they all get caught. And it's Cho, the one that Harry's kind of dating. So Harry has a love interest.
Yeah, which I threw my hands up. Like, I called it.
Yep, you sure did. I even have
Although, no, I called it with a different girl. Because I was
called it with...
But I did call the element that, like, it was going to be not him for the girl, for the Hermione. Right?
Yep.
It wouldn't be Harry Potter. It just felt... And again, maybe it was the bias of Star Wars, but, like, there was just some element where it's like, it can't be him. It's just, that doesn't work.
You have your prediction that Ron and Hermione end up together, because I still have the list of predictions and questions that you have.
I think I said the redhead sister.
Ginny, that's her name, and Harry might end up together, but obviously in this one he goes with Cho. But then we have the betrayal that Cho's the one that ratted them out, right?
Yeah.
In the book, it's one of Cho's friends who comes with her to Dumbledore's army, and then she rats on them.
Yeah.
But then we also find out later, I don't know if you caught it, that she was under truth serum.
Oh. No, I don't think I missed that.
So when Harry barges into Umbridge's office to try and use the fire, and she catches them, she summons Snape, and Snape says, "Oh, you use all my Veritaserum on the Chang girl. That's Cho's last name."
Okay, yeah.
So book fans obviously know Cho Chang is her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's not supposed to use all of it, but she ended up using all of it on Harry, and that's when she threatens him with the torture curse.
Yeah.
So
I'm still waiting for his face turn.
For Snape?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna turn face?
Oh,
okay.
He has to. There's just, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I have a note here.
Yeah,
Your prediction
I
doesn't
yeah,
think Snape is bad. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've already. Well, I mean, especially in the first one, it was way too obvious. Right? No, they're trying way too hard to make you
Yep.
believe this. And I still feel like he's kind of in a gray zone. And I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be. And then this one, like, I think there's the first times I actually had some like evidence building to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like even that, I'm like, is he actually truthful there, or is he just lying to like not do this?
To not give Harry truth
Yeah,
serum.
and it's like if he was as bad as they've tried to make me believe earlier, he would have been fully on board with her entirely. And it's just like he just wasn't. So it's like, yeah, I'm just
Well, remember, he's in the Order of the Phoenix.
yeah, and then that too, yeah. So
But he's
although he's getting bullied by Harry's dad, though,
But
yeah,
he's
is that what I caught right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
It's
a fun thing, kind of like the Batman, where he finds out his dad's a little shady.
Yeah, so they do not do that justice in the like they do in the book. It looks like James is bullying Sirius, which in that one instance he was, but it was more of a rivalry versus a bully situation. It upsets Harry so much that he sneaks into Umbridge's office to use the fire to talk to Sirius, and Lupin happens to be there as well, the werewolf. They're James's best friends. It was the four of them: Peter Pettigrew the rat, Sirius the dog, Lupin the werewolf, and then James was the big stag. And he was talking to them about it, and they're like, well, it wasn't a bullying situation. It was more of a, we hated each other, us and Snape, that any chance we got. You know, like, if you didn't trip this kid would trip you.
Yeah.
Kind of situation. So,
yeah.
It does make James look like a piece of shit, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's good, though, from my perspective of like storytelling.
It's good
It's
storytelling.
more interesting.
Yeah.
So, and it gives him something to deal with.
Yeah,
right?
and then we have the whole occlumency is what it's called, where Sirius is trying to teach Harry to close his minds to Voldemort because there's a connection. What'd you think about that with like the connection between Harry and Voldemort?
It seems logical to me. Not a surprise. Like
Yeah.
I would have almost assumed that something like that would happen, because it's just like there was obviously like the end of the last, go. There's quite a connection there, so it's just it feels like intertwined to the point where like if they haven't hinted at anything on that, it's so logical that like I probably would have assumed it even if they hadn't told me it. It just seems, I don't know, and it's kind of common with like when you have like a certain hero and a certain villain, like just to have like an element of like
connection.
Yeah, there's like even if it's like a destiny tied together type thing. So, I guess if that was supposed to be like a big like oh my god, like it wasn't for me, because it was just like oh yeah, no, that's what it should be.
No, it is very much more explored in the books, because like you have the whole thing in the first book where Quirrell's not able to touch Harry because of his mother sacrificing herself to protect Harry, so she has that protection in his blood. And then in the fourth book, when Voldemort resurrects himself, he uses Harry's blood, so he's able to forego that protection because he used Harry's blood to remake his body.
Yeah.
But still the question remains, how did Harry survive Voldemort's killing curse? Because there is no surviving that. The Avada Kedavra curse, there is no surviving that, as we saw with Sirius Black when Bellatrix kills him.
Oh, he'll be back.
So
Gary always comes back.
Gary always comes back. So how did you feel about that? Well, first, before we dive into Sirius's death, what about the Order of the Phoenix showing up to save them there at the Ministry of Magic? Get away from my godson.
Yeah, no, that was great. Also, I think this is the first time I've been able to like kind of guess what the title meant.
Yeah.
Because I think the rest of it's just been like it kind of fills in, but it's just like I don't know. But like just reading the title, knowing nothing, I'm like, I hope this is some kind of secret society, like
Order of the Phoenix.
But there's been some others where it seemed like it'd be one thing and it was like completely something different.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, nope, didn't see that.
Yeah.
But this one though, it's like the Illuminati in Marvel.
Yep.
That's just kind of the vibe of the title, where it's like that's probably what it should be, and then that's what it actually was. So it's the first time so far where I've been like, okay, finally I got something.
I got it.
So yeah, no, good. And again, throws me with good old Alan Rickman too, where I'm like, I'm not distrusting this guy, and then him to be involved there, it's like just adding to my suspicion. I mean, again though, that was primarily in the first one where they were really trying to make me think he was a villain. I'm just, no, you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like beyond that though, like I feel like he just seems a lot more gray and maybe on the darker side of gray.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's too mysterious.
Okay.
He's as Mystery Minute say. He's mysterious. He's terribly mysterious.
Terribly mysterious.
Yes. And it's Alan Rickman, so
Yeah, right.
and he's a good guy, even when he's taking
No, he's not. Stop.
terrible organizations and taking their money. Not a terrorist.
You like that reel that I saw?
He's not a
sent you?
terrorist.
He's a
There's
bank robber.
There's all these people that keep calling. People always call him a terrorist, though, and it's like,
Blowing up a building is terrorism, sir. Causing fear, causing terror. That's terrorism.
he's just trying to rob a place. He has no political ideals.
No.
It's political idealism. That's what terrorism is about. There's got to be a purpose behind it.
So he's just a madman.
He's just a bank robber.
He's just a violent homicidal maniac. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
His brother's better though.
It's true. He is. Yeah. So thoughts on losing Sirius?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a bummer for sure, but at the same time, like, I guess I can't say that Gary dies in it. He's not Joe Pesci by any means.
Yeah.
That always dies and everything. But I feel like it didn't shock me because it felt like inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just, in a way, and again, that's where I was like trying to like diagnose it in my head. I'm like, why did you think that was inevitable? I'm like, well, it's not because Gary dies in all of his roles like fucking Joe Pesci. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like it's especially because like at least twice in the movie, Harry talked about the realm of like that being his only family. I'm like, well, that'd be really convenient if your only family.
Yeah.
The rest of it got wiped out. So maybe it was that. I don't know. But there was just some part of it where it was just like, definitely sad, but it wasn't a surprise, if that makes any sense.
It honestly is just one of those things that, like, when it happened, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I felt very Jake Chambers-esque for a moment for Harry Potter. It's like, hasn't this kid been through enough? Like, Jesus Christ, J.K. Rowling.
I think that's where I was at, where I was just like, no. Because, again, I think there's at least twice in the movie where it's like, oh, he's all I got left. I'm like, that's...
Ah, poor Sirius.
Yeah, as I'll say, he may as well just have Sirius say, well, I got one day till retirement.
I retire tomorrow, guys.
I bought this boat. It's down in Florida waiting for my wife's down there waiting for me. We're going to go sail the world once I retire at the end of the week. Like that, he may as well have been saying that one. Because again, it for me, when it comes to like analyzing movies, like, because again, it's a more granular, but movies, every fucking second counts.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you've got a good, screenwriter, everything that's said has a purpose.
Yeah.
It has to have some purpose. It could be setting up that a person has a sense of humor, that they're clumsy, like some of them are
that they're falling in love with another character.
Something. It's got to be something. And if not, then that's when you point to it and go, that's a piece of bad writing. So when you and because every screenwriter understands that, like if something is repeated, it's usually repeated for a reason. And so for the fact that I swear at least twice, he either said, I know he said it overtly once, but if he didn't say it again entirely, he alluded to the idea that like, this is all I got left. It's like, so for that to be like restated, it's like,
yeah,
you're not doing that for no reason. So
yeah.
I think maybe that's where that's what like took the surprise away, which is fine. It doesn't need to be a surprise.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, me, you get mad sometimes because like when I'm analyzing movies, and that's what it comes down to.
You're
sometimes
so
like,
good at it. It's scary how good you are. Like I impress my wife with some things that I'm able to figure out with movies and shows and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, that's really good. And I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm always just like, man, I got nothing on Tad. I got nothing on him.
I mean, you got me with Peacemaker. I was still marveling at that one with the potential that Lex Luthor took over Flag.
Oh yeah,
that was a complete that I hadn't even considered that. I actually think I'm fully bought in on that. So no, but it's just for me, it is just like having a fascination with like screenwriting and stuff, and like there's a lot of rules and like elements to it and stuff. And again, like just the real estate is so fucking valuable that it's just like unless you're a bad writer, you're not going to waste a second of time.
Right.
And it's like, so yeah, when a line recurs, there's usually a reason. And a lot of times, especially, you'll also notice sometimes they're trying to like, you could try to this hand and then you're like, hey, look at this. You got to watch out of their hand. And you'll see that too. And like, I don't necessarily think that happened here, but again, just having it stated twice where it's like, oh, that's all Harry has left. It's like, okay.
He says it to Hermione when he has the vision of Sirius. He's like, he's the only family I have left. And I'm just like,
yeah, he said it there, and I swear either he said it one more time or it was alluded to one more time.
Yeah.
Where it was just how important he is to him.
Yeah,
and it's like that's
Yep.
That's
It is.
That's it.
He says it early in the film, and then he says it again there when it's kind of getting towards
yeah.
And you're just like, that second time, you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, God, no.
The first time, maybe we can get over it. But the second time, it's like, nope.
Yep. Plus, like, there is an element of, like baptism of fire. Maybe that's the wrong, like, thing. But, like, if you've got, like, the
Trauma,
kind of...
yeah.
Well, it's not even trauma. It's just, like, if you've got, like, the chosen one thing, a lot of times there's got to be an element of, like, burning away of everything around them. For
Uncle
them to...
Owen, Aunt Beru, and then Obi-Wan dies.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Like, you've got to see these things fall away. Of course, it's not all encompassing because Han and Leia don't die. It's just like I'm not counting on...
Most importantly, Chewie doesn't die.
Well, we don't care about him.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, he has good labor, so...
You stop it.
Hey, Luke tries to put him in chains, so Luke understands.
You stop that.
And then Chewie shows why he should be in chains by almost attacking Luke. So, but so I'm not gonna say that like that means that like Hermione and Ron have to die.
Yeah,
I don't think it doesn't have to go that far, but there is an element of like almost more like, and there's maybe it's like kind of a coming of age thing too.
Sure.
Like a lot of that fills into like the whole chosen one prophecies or whatever it might be. Is like there's like those things that are like almost your harnesses in your youth or whatever, or like Neo is the same way, but that's not even a coming of age, but it's like he's a chosen one, but it's like he's got to break all of these things off of him to truly encompass that chosen one element. And there's just an element of like, cool, well, Godfather, like that's just so childish, and this is obviously a coming of age chosen one thing that it's like,
yeah,
I don't know if this works with him here, kind of like Obi-Wan. And I know that like whatever, it's just it doesn't work if Obi-Wan's still there at the end for that celebration.
He's got to come into his own, right?
Exactly. And he's not going to be able to do that with Obi-Wan there. It's kind of like, I mean, it goes into all kinds of things. Godfather, when he's like, sidelining Michael or Tom Hagen, he's like, well, if I have any consularity, I could just use my father. It's like, well, you got to get rid of him because you can't have the ultimate brain of fucking Don Corleone there if Michael's ever going to be Michael. So, and that's kind of so it's in that realm too, where it's just like, okay, his parents, that's part of the whole origin story, but like there's got to be a losing of some of this other stuff as well. And makes me wonder about old Dumbledore.
Makes you wonder about Dumbledore, huh?
Seems like he might be in that same realm, but I think that would be kind of one of those big like final movie, like raising the stakes, or final, like not final movie, but the last stretch, and like that's what raises.
Well, because remember
stakes
the last book's broken into two.
There is that too, yeah. So it just because he would also be very like Harry Potter's a little fucking ankle biter when he's like attaching to this this headmaster and stuff to the point where it's like he might fall into that same realm of like he's too much of a almost like a security blanket, that it's like that's got to go, and like maybe it's a self-sacrificial thing, or I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but and a lot of this is like the realm of like the whole some of this shit goes back to like thousands of years of storytelling, right? There's just certain story beats that recur all the way back to Homer's Odyssey and all this kind of stuff. There's just certain storytelling techniques that go back thousands of years, and usually when you get into the chosen one stuff, a lot of that stuff goes back to that. So
you have it. Dumbledore will probably die sometime in 7 or 8.
I had that suspicion in the last movie, but even more so here now, especially like losing Gary Oldman. It's like, okay, so we're kind of in that whole baptism of fire of like burning away his childhood support structures. And again, that doesn't count as friends because his friends are his contemporaries, so I think they're gonna kind of carry along with him. And I'm totally spitballing here, but that's kind of that's how I'm analyzing it.
No,
is
that's
like,
fine.
Yeah, that's how I'd analyze it.
So before we move away from it, the death scene with Gary Oldman and Sirius Black being killed by Bellatrix. Did you notice the artistic choice to not have audio when Harry screams? With that,
I always call that the Godfather 3,
where it's like silent and you think that he's gonna scream.
Yeah, no, it's I love that. It's one of my favorite things in film
this one.
And television.
You never hear the scream. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
I didn't, but I noticed that it was silent to start, but I guess I didn't really lock onto the fact that we never hear it. But
we never hear it. It actually
it's better to not hear it in a lot of cases.
It was
because there's no way for an actor to actually portray what needs to be there. That's why it's almost like it's more of a gut. I don't know. It's good filmmaking.
So this was actually one of the most famous scenes in filming of Harry Potter across all 8 movies. Is that this scene apparently was so gut wrenching for everyone on set, and there was quite a few people because it's quite a big scene. that actually several actresses, including Emma Watson and Helen Bonham Carter, actually cried on set because of Daniel Radcliffe's performances.
Okay.
The reason why is because he filmed this, I think, within a month of his grandfather passing, who he was very close to. So it's just like when you go back and you watch that scene again and you see that scream to know that that's actual like anguish from Daniel, it's just like, oh, it hurts a little bit, just a little bit more, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's also like that Lord of the Rings one where it's like, hey, you know, Viggo Mortensen's really screaming in pain, right? Hey. So it's that moment for me with Harry Potter. Got a few more things to cover, and then we can move. We do John's email, then we can move on. How do you feel about the fighting at the end, first between the Order of the Phoenix and the Death Eaters, and then also the duel between Voldemort and Dumbledore? To see, like, we've had 4 movies. We haven't really had, like, what is a fight gonna look like? What is a duel gonna look like?
Well, I've also been telling you how long I'm waiting for him to fucking show me something too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 'cause
Voldemort?
just, no.
Dumbledore?
Yeah, it's like
he's the one wizard that Voldemort's scared of. Okay, why?
yeah.
So we have first the Order versus the Death Eaters in that chamber where Sirius dies. What did you think about the fighting and how they did it?
I think it's what you got to do.
Right.
Ultimately, like I'm not sure if I necessarily would have thought about it until we actually started seeing some of these fights. But it's like I don't know what a fight would look like, right? It's like it's very
With magic, yeah.
It's like very. It's not a lightsaber. A lightsaber, it's just like, oh, it's obvious they're going to swing at each other. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like this. It's like I don't know what does that look
Curse,
like.
counter curse. Kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. So, no, it's probably about what you'd have to do. I think. Like,
Did you like it? It was enjoyable. It was intense enough for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Plus, I think I said in the very first movie, it's like, hey, I just assumed that Dumbledore's kind of in that like Magneto, Gandalf, like high level S tier fucking power, and I'm always attracted to those kind of characters. So it's
Yeah.
like, show me, and it's just we just haven't seen it until now.
Haven't had anyone to go against really. When you look at it, it's all been Harry and his
Yeah.
growth and everything like that. So this is the time where Dumbledore steps up and we get a duel: Voldemort versus Dumbledore. So what'd you think about that duel?
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff I like. Like I've always loved that kind of shit. Like I always tell people, like everyone always goes gaga over Anakin versus Obi-Wan in episode 3, but like give me Palpatine and Yoda, because there's just I've always liked that element of like the fucking Grandmaster, like top of the line fucking power wielders. Like I'll take that.
Palpatine would have wiped the floor with Obi-Wan. Yoda would have wiped the floor with Anakin, right?
Yeah, and that's so it's just like I've always liked that, and again, I think that's why I'm like when you look at like the characters I love, I think I've always been attracted to those ones that are way like not overpowered, but like massively powerful, like Magneto lifting the Golden Gate Bridge, like the shit like that. Like that's the reason that he's my favorite comic book character. Period. And it's like so I think that I think this
in
is
X-Men 97 where he just stops the fucking or electricity for all of Earth with his powers. He's just like, nope, you guys don't get power anymore. Flick.
Yeah, or like Gandalf. Like there's elements in Lord of the Rings you see with Gandalf, not as much in the movies because fucking Peter Jackson's not a fan of magic, so you don't get a lot. But it's like you always get this element of like, okay, there's this unassuming old man, but it's like there's just an element of like there's a lot to him, and like we only get a couple moments of it in the movies, but in the books you get a lot more. But it's just I love that kind of like high end
that moment where he pulls off the rags in front of Theoden and everything like that. It's just like, oh yeah. But then also,
and I think that's where we're seeing here. And again, I've been waiting for it pretty much since the first movie. And I mean, even the first movie is kind of almost disappointing because it's like I almost felt like he was not that much of a part of the movie. Where it's just like I thought he was like a big character in this, and he just feels very inconsequential. And like he's grown bigger with each movie for sure. But now we're actually seeing like kind of a little bit more. I feel like he's a cheeky bastard too.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a cheekiness to him.
Like at the trial, he's just like, the fuck are we doing here? 15-year-old on trial for using magic? Like, really?
Yeah.
A full trial?
Also, I love him not listening to Harry when he's yelling at him, trying to get his attention. He just ignores him.
Do you understand why that was?
That
wasn't pure cheek. I think they explained it, but they may not have. So that's where I was like, I want to clarify.
I mean, I certainly don't think that like whatever conversation Harry would have wanted to have there was anything that he wanted to necessarily engage with at that point.
It wasn't anything to do with that. So the big thing is that Harry is,
but like they did a good job of filming it where you could see that he does hear him. Like they made it clear that like he isn't just like an old man that can't fucking hear. Like you see his eyes cocked to the side where it's just like he knows, and that's communicating to the audience like he can hear him. And it's like, okay, so it's just like he's full on cold shouldering him here. So
it's not for for the reasons of I don't want to have this conversation with him. He's not going to have anything interesting to say or anything like that. It's that Voldemort possessing Harry. He's worried what will happen if Voldemort sees Dumbledore, who he hates with a passion. He's worried what will happen to Harry if they are together face to face.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason why he cold shoulders Harry all year.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I definitely like the showdown, and it's like, yeah, give me more of that,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. Wasn't that an awesome duel? And then like the light and dark stuff at the end of it, very, very. I can't help but not look at like Jedi and Sith. Like.
Yeah.
I loved Gary Oldman's speech about the light and the dark in all of us, but it's not a matter of how much of each we have. It's what we choose to act on.
Yeah.
I love that speech from him.
because
it's so good.
Harry is having the pull of the dark side era.
Yeah, we got a little temperamental Harry, don't we?
I appreciated that. I mean, he is a teenager, so it's to be expected. But at the same time, I was like, ooh, yeah, going to kill some sand people here?
Ooh. Not just the men.
But the women and the children.
I hate them.
Yeah, he almost killed his dumb fucking cousin or whatever. He should have.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been.
He pulled his wand on him. He was ready to go.
Good. Should have done it.
And then we have two more things. Three more things. What do you think about the prophecy?
Remind me, like, just what is it again?
Okay, so the prophecy is the whole reason why he ended up in.
They've said it, but I'm not able to.
So
hold
he
it in
thinks
my
that
brain.
Sirius is being tortured there, so he goes there, and then he finds out that the only reason he was brought there is because whoever the prophecy is made about are the only ones who can retrieve it.
That's
from the
right.
hall.
So we're not talking like prophecy that was from the very beginning when he was
No.
a kid. Okay, yeah.
This is the prophecy that was made that leads to Voldemort going after Harry. So they didn't exactly make it crystal clear, but the prophecy itself says neither can live while the other survives. That's what Voldemort hears and goes, okay, I have to kill this kid. Shows up to his house, tries to kill him. Mother protects him. Voldemort loses all his powers. Harry survives, but his parents are dead.
Yeah.
So this prophecy is the reason why Harry is Harry and why Voldemort is going after him.
Okay.
Is this whole prophecy here this is the reason. So that's the big reveal for book 5 is this prophecy. And I was wondering if they glossed over that too much.
I think they stated it and then I think they restated it. So I think that like they did a good job, but my brain is.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
And so with that, we obviously have some major developments. Do you have any questions that you were like, I don't get this? Like, why are they doing this? What does this mean, or anything like that?
No, I was just looking up what's her name because I was looking at the cast here.
Which one?
Where'd she go? I just lost her. I've lost her. The Tonks.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, she looks so familiar. She's fucking
Yeah.
Osha from Game of Thrones.
Oh okay.
God, I knew there's something. I know there's something fucking there because like her face is way too fucking like.
Is that John's
memorable.
girlfriend?
No, that's the wildling that is with the boys for a good chunk of the series.
Oh okay.
Yeah. And then she's also in The Mandalorian.
Is she really?
Yeah, I don't remember her name. Mandalorian, also John Wick Chapter 4.
Holy
so there's a
shit.
couple things where I'm like, okay, maybe it might.
Yeah.
No, there's something that's really fucking solid in my head. I'm like, it's a movie I really fucking love, or just. But Game of Thrones, we spent like again
Oh, yeah.
when it was Bran and the whatever other fucking brother that nobody cares about. She was the one that was with them through almost the entire.
With Hodor, right?
Yeah, like a whole chunk of the series.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of fucking time with her. So that's why her face was just like, there's something. Who is she?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So,
Ygritte, isn't that John's girlfriend? Ygritte, isn't that? I think that's her.
yeah,
name.
that's she's more gingery though.
That's the one I was
Yeah.
thinking of. Okay.
Also, yeah, again, not necessarily part of like the whole plot or anything, but who was the Fig? I think that's the one. Was that the witness?
That's the witness. Yeah.
What's her story?
Okay, so she's
She seemed
she's a
familiar
neighbor,
to me too.
She's a neighbor of Harry's. I don't know if she was actually mentioned, but in the first book when he goes to the zoo, he was supposed to be babysit by Mrs. Fig.
Okay.
And then they say she can't babysit him because she broke her leg tripping over one of her cats. She is what in the wizarding world is called a squib. It's a birth defect where they're born without magic.
Oh, but she's involved in the world though.
She is involved. They're part of the wizarding world, but it's better if they live with muggles versus wizards because they can never truly belong kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she lives on Harry Street, and she
Okay.
knows who he is and everything like that. And so she's sent to watch.
That's the
Over
sense I
Harry.
got is she knows too much about everything. But I'm
Yeah.
like, if we've seen her before,
We
it's not.
we haven't. She's mentioned once, maybe in the first movie. So
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was just looking through the cast. And I
Yeah.
saw her. I was like, oh yeah, I was kind of wondering like what the fucking deal
Sure.
there was. Let's see if there's anything else that jumps out at me from the cast. I do love the cat taking
Crookshanks.
taking the ear.
yeah,
Is that we've seen that cat before, right?
that's Hermione's cat.
Oh, okay.
He was in he was in the third movie. He was trying to kill the rat.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
I mean,
yeah, Crookshanks.
just a cat being a cat, and
Just cat being a cat.
I love it. Just
Yeah.
it's being a. Oh, I also will
Absolute
say
menace to society.
probably the first time I actually really enjoyed the redhead, the older redhead kids
Fred and George
being
twins.
being quite the menaces.
Oh, yeah.
There against old what's her name.
Umbridge, yeah.
That was pretty great because that
Yeah.
was just like, not blow up the school, but that was like high level fucking
Oh, yeah.
shenanigans. That wasn't just their normal
Nope.
cheekiness. That was like full on rebellion. So
Oh yeah.
did appreciate that quite a bit.
Yeah, that is a huge part of the book when they cause that distraction. That's when Harry. I was telling you about it earlier. Harry sneaks into Umbridge's office to use the fire to talk to Sirius and Lupin about his dad.
Yeah.
That's actually when they cause that distraction.
Okay.
Is they do that to cause the distraction so he can get in there. So it's really cool. They leave school. They don't finish school.
Yeah.
They're off to go do their own thing and everything, and they're just. Fred and George are delightful. They're much better in the books. I will say that. So,
Yeah. I will say too that with the big three, I feel like this is the first time I really felt like there was actually a team element there.
yeah.
And I think I bitched about that before. Where it's
You
just
actually,
like,
you actually do. I have it. We're gonna go over your questions and predictions just to remind everyone and you.
I think this is the
what it
first
is.
time that I've actually kind of felt like kind of the Han, Luke, and Leia vibe with the
Yeah.
three of them. So kind of interesting. I wouldn't have suspected it would take 5 movies. It's almost like having a Star Wars trilogy where the main cast doesn't meet until the 3rd movie. But
Wait,
I'm
what?
not gonna shit on that.
I don't
I
know.
should though.
I don't know what we're talking about. No. So with this one, we obviously have very big reveal at the end that Fudge sees Voldemort, so we know that he's back.
Yeah, and then everyone
So-
starts to accept. I did like the Harry Potter was also alienated early on.
Yeah.
where everyone just thought he was crazy. I mean, I feel like he's kind of been alienated a bit throughout the series.
kind of his
so
thing.
It's just another version of that. But obviously he's saying very alarmist things.
My wife
so-
points out in the chat that the Crookshanks is very much being an orange cat. That is for sure.
Yeah, I've never had an orange cat.
They are.
It's funny because
quite a thing.
it's funny because my mom grew up with one, so it's like,
Yeah.
how the fuck have we never had one? Because she
Yeah.
loved it. She's one of her favorite cats that she's ever had. Like, how the fuck have we never had an orange cat?
They are quite
'Cause
the
I've-
rapscallions. That is for sure.
40 years. I've had a lot of cats in my life,
Yeah.
and just never an orange one.
Well, hey, you know what to get her for her next birthday? An orange kitten.
Yeah, no, that's I should get one of those hideous ones with no fur,
Ugh,
Mr.
God,
Mr.
no.
Bigglesworth.
Mr. Bigglesworth. So we got a basically open war at the end of this one. Voldemort's out in the open.
And I think that's logical for like where we're at in the story. Just
Yep.
assuming 5 out of 7 books, like you can't play sneaky shit. Like there has to be a point when it's like full on like
Here we go.
yeah,
Buckle up.
exactly, yeah.
So what do you any thoughts about that? Like what you're gonna see with open wizard warfare?
No, I mean probably some dead folks.
I'm thinking some people are gonna die.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I think that's probably on the horizon here. I do wonder if old Harry's gonna give another chance to the old traitor girl there, because they did get a kiss there.
Oh yeah.
So
Wonders if Cho gets a second chance.
yeah, I mean, seems like very
Okay.
chosen one prophecy that you got to be a little forgiving. Got to get some Jesus stuff in there. You can't be holding grudges,
Sure.
even if you're a teenager.
Okay.
So,
All right. So let's just go through your questions and predictions, see if any of them have been answered or come true, or if they're still unanswered or haven't.
Now,
yet.
did he have a picture of the two kind of being romantic early in the movie? Like was that like
Ron and Hermione?
yeah.
They're like dancing in the snow. They're just being kind of friends, but it kind of makes it look that way.
Yeah, I was about to say that
So,
because that not that it's a secret necessarily, but I'm like, well, there's
Yeah.
an overt reference to the fact that like, and maybe again early in the movie you're establishing potentially plot changes that have happened, and it's like it's
more of a design that he misses them and hasn't talked to them is what it's supposed to be. Because that, again, remember what I said, he's kind of just like shunted off to the Dursleys and just left with nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why he's so pissed off when he gets to the headquarters. He's like, what the fuck's going on?
Did you say I had to deal with those fuckers again?
The Dursleys? Yep.
Come on, Columbine.
You're like
fucking...
really hating on the Dursleys. So it's kind of interesting.
They're the worst.
So that is actually one of your first questions is why did they make Harry go back to the Dursleys?
Yeah. And then they didn't. And then now they did again. So
yep. Like I reminded you, book 4 does start with him at the Dursleys, not at Ron's house. So the movie doesn't, but just cut for time there. Because remember, the 4th one is the longest movie. So
was it?
It was.
God, I swear the first one was like almost 3 hours long. It was up there in time. It was pretty shocking to me because usually first movies, like in a series, you go a little bit shorter and you get longer over time. And the first one was like, Jesus.
I stand corrected. Harry Potter 2 is the longest of the Harry Potters, followed by Goblet of Fire. Yeah, that's the second longest.
Yeah.
Half-Blood Prince, which is the next one, is the third longest. And the fourth longest is the first movie. You're right.
Yeah, it was shocking because, again, usually when you're like introducing a whole franchise, like you want to like almost start on the shallow end of the pool a little bit and then grow over time. And it's like, so I remember turning it on and like hitting the fucking thing to just see the runtime. I was like, what the fuck on the first movie?
Good Lord.
And like, again, I also kind of know just roughly from pop culture that was like thinner book, thicker, and like eventually you got, you got bricks. So I'm like, yeah, I just assumed, we'll have a good 2-hour movie, and then we'll start to get to 215, 220, 230, and up and up and up, and then eventually you split into 2 separate movies. Like that's what I was expecting. So the first one really fucking bamboozled me there. Where I was like, holy fuck, we got that kind of runtime here.
What they actually did is they did the first 2 books justice, and then they started cutting stuff out of 3 through 7. Is what they ended up started doing. So
yeah.
So that was your question, is why did they make them go back to the Dursleys? I will answer that either at the end of next Harry Potter episode or maybe at the end of the whole
because Voldemort
shebang.
will kill them finally.
So
he'll come home from like the store and they'll be fucking massacred.
They'll be massacred.
And there'll be a face on the wall with no nose. Like, I did it.
No, he does the dark mark above the house, remember? That's the snake thing in the fireworks looking thing in the sky.
Yeah, we also had a good snake thing going on here too. I thought about Hayden.
Yeah.
Good fire serpent.
Got Ron's dad attacked.
Yeah.
Survived because Harry saw it in the vision.
Yeah.
Ron and Hermione end up together is your prediction. Ginny and Harry might end up together. Wonders if Cho gets a second chance is now added to that as an addendum.
He's got choices.
He's got choice. He's got options. And still from book 1, movie 1, doesn't think Snape is bad.
Yeah.
Still here.
Yeah.
From there.
Yeah.
The question has not been answered for Tad. Wonders where Dobby is.
Yeah, we got a fucking old.
We got an old one,
yeah.
but not Dobby.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one doesn't think the trio is as tight knit as they should be. We got a little bit of resolve for that.
Got more of it. Yeah.
Should I delete that one, or do you want to see more?
I think it's probably fine to delete at this point.
Okay, that one resolved. Okay, there we go. We got one resolved. Wonders if Ron and Hermione get more fleshed out as characters. What do you think?
I don't know that we got a whole lot more like super fleshing out with them in this.
Okay.
Unless I'm missing something that I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't. I mean, I'm not saying they were like ignored or anything, but I don't think that we really delved that much deeper into.
I don't think Ron and Hermione are exactly deep characters. They are.
So it's not Han and Leia.
Again,
the archetypes is what I'm looking at. It's like if it's Han and Leia, like you would eventually flesh them out to the point where like, I don't know. Not saying like if they weren't books and they were movies and they became like an extended universe, you'd be able to have whole books on the two. And I'm not getting that vibe that either of them, and that's why I assume they would get to the point where you'd kind of have the big three and they're all like fairly well-rounded characters and stuff and like very symbiotic with each other.
I mean, they are getting to be like the dynamic trio. They have been that since about book 2.
And it was all random too.
And everything.
It's just
So-
who we ran into on the train, right? That's
Ron,
just to start.
Ron is that way, yeah. And
So
then
it's just
Hermione.
but then again, that is real, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, what kid did you start talking to on the playground?
Will and Mike, right? They sat next to each other on the swings.
Unless you had
thing.
kids in your neighborhood, for the most part, it's like,
Yes.
hey, kindergarten. Like, yeah, my best friend all through elementary is just
Met him at kindergarten.
literally a kid. Very first recess of kindergarten, started talking to him, and we were fucking thick as thieves all through. And then went to different junior
See, and
highs.
I was the opposite. It was the kid in my neighborhood that I went to church with that
yeah,
was my best friend growing up in
Well,
elementary school.
I'm a little Satanist, so I
and
go
then
to church. So.
and then I hit junior high. We went to the same junior high and the same high school. I mean, you knew him,
yeah,
and we had in junior high.
knew him
we got
before you actually.
You
In
did?
terms of like, I knew
You
him
did?
before I knew you. Yeah,
before you knew me. We grew a little bit apart in junior high, and then in high school it just got wider, and we still don't talk. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, so it's just so that feels real to me. But I've thought about it during this movie where I'm like, that is just like kind of random that these three ended up being like the but again, I'm not, it wasn't a criticism because it's like that felt real life to me, right?
I'm gonna leave this one. Wonders if Ron and Hermione get more fleshed out as characters. I think we'll see some more from them.
I assume that you're going to have to flesh them out a little bit more at some point, just because.
Well, it's also a matter of what you say. Ron and Hermione are going to end up together. I think that's going to play a part too. Is that hasn't happened? Maybe that's part of.
Yeah, could be
If it does happen, right?
Yeah,
Ron will lose some family members. Almost happened.
yeah,
Close.
It's
It's close.
I think he's got 27 brothers, so it doesn't,
He has
Are-
5 brothers and 1 sister.
are the parents going to know if they lose a kid? It's like, do roll call here.
I mean, they are gingers, right? So,
Yep.
Thinks things were going to get darker, more dangerous. We're going to delete that one because they definitely did.
Yes.
What happened to Barty?
Although no more death. I mean, not students' deaths. Just
Nope.
that's still the one from the last one. Is the kind of the big like upping the
Oh my
ante
God,
a little
Cedric
bit.
Diggory died. A student died.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, Gary's
But you have to
eternal,
remember
so.
that the students are going to be protected at school under Albus Dumbledore. He is going to protect them. They are going to provide protection for kids.
Yeah.
What you might see, though.
But if you're going to ratchet up the tension, though, that's when you already did it once, but it's like if shit starts to get really fucking real, then
Right.
it's like not even safe there. Like
Well,
nowhere
think of it,
safe.
Well,
type
think of
thing,
it.
right?
Well, think of it more as what you need to take away from this one, especially in going into Half-Blood Prince, which is the 6th one, is that the war's not being fought at Hogwarts. Okay, the war's not being fought by students. The war is being fought by the Order of the Phoenix, and now the Ministry is going to be also joining that side. So it's more of like your dad's at war, your uncle's at war, your godfather's at war with Sirius Black.
So the brothers that aren't in school anymore.
That is true. I mean, and they also have 2 older brothers who are already out of schools. Plus,
Have
their
we
mom
even
and
seen them?
dad. I don't think so. 3 brothers. I forgot Percy. Fucking completely almost erased from this movie. Their older brother Percy left school last year. He joins the Ministry and sides with the Ministry over his family. They completely removed that plot point from this movie. But he's seen in a couple scenes behind, like when Fudge sees Voldemort when he comes to the Ministry. He's like, he's back. He's standing behind him. So that's Percy. That's Ron's older brother.
Okay.
So he was in the first movie.
I just assume any gingers related to him.
It's a safe bet.
It's probably a safe
bet.
assumption. Yeah.
You did have a question at the end of the last one, which we did answer this time. What happened to David Tennant, Barty Crouch Jr.? I let you know he's the one that got the Dementor's kiss, so he was the witness to Harry to what happened to the Voldemort's back, and then Fudge basically silenced him on accident, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
and then we got 2 new predictions for Tad that he made this episode. Dumbledore will die sometime in movie 7
Later
or 8.
books. Yeah.
Yeah. And then thinks of the deaths, that we will have some deaths in the next 3 books coming into the Wizard War. Basically, he's going to lead to more deaths, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that is a smart prediction,
You ratchet up the tension. Yeah.
right?
I'm a little worried for that little that dumb kid.
Neville?
Yeah.
Worried for Neville. Worried
He's
for...
he's close enough that it would be really impactful, but he's not like one of the big 3. So I'm just
Gotcha.
just that logic
about,
storytelling wise. If I'm a screenwriter, and I know there's books before this, but I assume the same could be applied to the author. If I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna ice some motherfucker, that's the one I'd look at and go, that'd be a really good one because it'd be effective.
done.
It'd be effective because it's not just some fucking rando kid like the one that was making fun of him saying my mom doesn't believe you, and then later said I believe you. It's not just some rando like that. so it'd be impactful enough, but you're not often one of your main characters.
Right.
So that's
all right. Well, so that's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. We're just going to read John's email, and then we'll wrap up the main topic here. For me, Harry Potter 5 is an okay movie with some scenes that I love. Dumbledore's escape when they try to arrest him is great.
Yeah.
What is the phrase? Go quietly. I will not be going to Azkaban. And then he.
No, firing at the one teacher too. That was.
Yeah, Sybil.
Yeah, that was
heart wrenching, right?
That was. Yeah.
So I don't know if you
did they resolve that then?
No.
In terms of like, does she get hired back then? Like, what's...
no, but it's actually even more deeper than that. You have to wait for the next movie. So.
Okay, because that was
there was a reason it was very important.
But
that
then
she didn't
Dumbledore
leave the
there
school.
again with his little bit of a maybe not cheeky.
Maybe a little,
there's cheekiness, but there's also a maverick nature to him too.
There's a very much a fuck you, Dolores Umbridge there.
Yes.
He says trying to arrest him is great. The twins' revenge scene is better, which you brought up. The twins with the fireworks and everything. They're FU to Umbridge as they left.
Yeah.
And the Department of Mysteries fight could be the best scenes in the first 5 movies. So that is the fight where it's just Ron and his friends.
Oh, you can put it on
the
there.
Orbs.
Gary will be back.
You think Gary Oldman will be back?
Whether it's a Force ghost or whatever else.
Gary will be back as a Force ghost,
or he's not dead.
He's not dead.
I'm not dead. I'm feeling better.
And then Harry just whacks him over the head with a 2x4.
Oh, shit.
And then he says, it was nice seeing Neville come into his own. Umbridge and Bellatrix are delightfully evil. I mean, yeah.
Wait, names one more time?
Umbridge.
Okay.
Which we know her. Bellatrix is the one that killed Sirius.
That's
Helen Bonham Carter.
Yeah, as I say, fucking
old
Tim Burton.
Old
chick.
you can fix her.
Yeah. And then Tonks though. That's
Tonks.
Yeah.
Tonks, eh?
It's like, hey there.
Hey, how you doing? 2 dots.
Again, she's gothy enough.
Just enough. 2 dot spoiler things from the book. I'm glad they didn't include Percy being insufferable and Harry's extreme moodiness.
Teenagers.
I mean, well, it's also what it plays off of in the book is that Harry's possessed. He talks about it with Sirius. He's like, "Why am I angry all the time?" And it's like,
yeah,
you're not. Have you met Book You? Like the book him is insufferable, dude.
Again,
he's such a little asshole.
Hormonal teenagers.
I mean, yeah. And then Percy being insufferable. That's the older brother I told you about. He sides with the Ministry versus Ron's family. So
yeah. Well, hey, you can't have a quote unquote civil war without some brothers on the other side of the battle lines.
That's right.
So.
Overall, an okay movie made from my second least favorite book. Chamber is my least. John from Buffalo. So
sweet.
There's
thanks for the email, John.
There's Order of the Phoenix for you. So
yeah, and then we got on the horizon, we have number 6 on
Valentine's Day.
Oh, that is Valentine's Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always forget. I don't know why 13th always sticks in my head for some reason.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Friday the 13th.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, does that mean we get a Friday the 13th in February and in March?
Is it? I haven't looked at the calendar yet. I always look for the Sunday the 1st. Yeah, so February, March, yes.
That's going to be it.
Is that it? That's unfortunate. Oh, no, November.
3 Friday the 13th next year?
It's good. We've been getting shorted recently. So the 14th of February, we have number 6. And then we have number 7 on April 11th, and then number 8 on May 9th. So that is, if you're a Harry Potter fan, that is the rounding out of this series going into next year.
For the movies. I mean,
for the movies.
We still have the books. We got the TV show coming up in 2027. I mean, we got a year for that.
Yeah, we got a ways for that.
Is what it sounds like.
So it means that we could go through and read. I can go through and read them before that as well. I mean,
especially the first few. They're quite short.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and move on over to the news.
Yeah.
So the first one, Netflix is looking to buy Warner Brothers. Everyone is seeming to report this as though it is a foregone conclusion, but there's a lot of regulatory hurdles that have to be passed. So like this isn't a done deal. Definitely a bad thing though. I don't think there's anything. But
We don't like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't like the consolidation in Hollywood. It's already bad enough, and it's just going to get worse. And Netflix
Yeah, when we
is
were
not...
kids, there was 14, 15 movie studios. Now there's what, 4?
Yeah, it's maybe...
It's about to go down to 3.
No, I think there's like probably 5, I mean 5 or 6 like majors, and then
That's
there's some
still not
minors.
enough.
No, there's definitely
It's
not enough.
We need more.
Yeah, and honestly, overall, I'm not a big fan of Netflix overall. Like, I won't watch a Netflix show because like they just cancel them. Like they just don't let shit play out. So
aside from Stranger Things, everything else is on the chopping block, even after their first successful season.
yeah, Mindhunter, to hell with them for that.
I can't.
And I'm just wondering, like, are they going to allow HBO to be HBO, or are they going to like apply their algorithmic bullshit to it, and then they're going to ruin it? I don't know. I'm suspicious of the whole thing.
Game of Thrones would have got canceled in the 4th season.
Probably not even that.
Yeah,
they don't let shit go past the 2nd season a lot of times.
Like
so, so we'll see what happens. Not happy. I will.
Batman and Superman belonging to Netflix.
I will say if that piece of shit that's running Warner Brothers now is out, though, that's some silver lining.
That's true.
So
It's true.
yeah, maybe we'll see some of the things that got sidelined. The Batgirl, probably not though, because the DC stuff being rebooted, probably not. But the Roadrunner. I mean, there's some opportunities there that whatever.
Does that mean DC Studios goes with it? Or is DC Studios separate and just has an agreement with Warner Brothers?
I know that they pretty much have
could we lose Gunn?
I know they have a long-standing like agreement. I don't know if that's like transferable. It's been around for so long.
Yeah.
It might be pretty much permanent. I don't know.
As long
I know
as
there's
we
a
don't
bunch.
lose fucking Gunn, I'm gonna be really pissed.
I mean,
if we
there's
did.
no. They would be really stupid to do that. I know there's some fucking Zack Snyder morons out there that are trying to like think that whatever, but like what they all seem to be forgetting is Netflix just cut ties with Zack Snyder and canceled their deal with him. So
and
like
they also remember Witcher was a Netflix show that Henry Cavill was Cavill.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill was the lead on, and then he left their show, basically giving them a big double bird, saying like, "You guys are idiots."
No, and like honestly, like the gun stuff is too successful. They're not going to let that go. So, but it does need to pass government approval. That's for sure. But yeah. So, moving on over to the next one. This is kind of out of not. There's been a little bit of hints to it. So, big Star Wars announcement. So they just posted yesterday that A New Hope. Originally, we were told A New Hope's coming back to theaters in April of 2027 to mark the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
The big thing there that people are, oh, why isn't it coming out like in May when it should be? But that's when Starfighter comes out. So they bumped it to April, whatever. But now
that's when they're also going to have Celebration as well. April of 2027.
Yes. But now this is moving though. So this is moving to February 19th to give it more breathing room.
Oh, okay.
But the most surprising thing to a lot of people is they have announced that not only will this be coming in theaters, but this will be the new 4K remaster. And it will be the theatrical unaltered, which surprises me because like it's a general thing in Hollywood that like the director has the last call on it. So like if that's his wish of whatever, then you don't upset that. So I'm not sure if they're kind of shitting on that a little bit. I don't know how that works. So we'll see.
Because Lucas added things to episode 4 that wasn't in the theatrical because they just couldn't do them.
Yeah.
Like the Jabba scene at the Falcon.
Yeah.
On the hangar in I want to say Anchorage, but that's not right.
Anchorhead. No,
Anchorage is stuck in my head, but that's Alaska. That's not it.
Yeah, it's Anchorhead is it's Mos Eisley.
Mos Eisley, thank you.
I was thinking for some reason Bestman's kept entering my head. I'm like, no, that's Lando.
Yeah, Anchorage from Alaska kept entering my head. What the fuck am I thinking? So
Anchorhead's in Tatooine though. So.
Anchorhead, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. No, yeah, Mos Eisley.
So there have been rumors and rumblings that they've been doing a 4K remaster. There's actually been some filmmakers or some people that have leaked that have said they like worked at Lucasfilm and they've actually seen the actual like frame by frame 4K remastering of A New Hope. So like this isn't like entirely like, oh my God, what the fuck? But I think the biggest shocker is the fact that it is the theatrical original. Well, kinda. Because like I'm pretty sure at the beginning it's still going to say A New Hope, so it's not truly the 1977 theatrical.
Yeah.
So
aside from that, it will be.
Yeah. So
this will be how many versions of A New Hope that you own?
I mean, that's assuming they release it. It's coming to theaters. The announcement made it even seem like this is like And that's what I'm kind of wondering is if they're literally going to let this come out in theaters this one time, and then when it actually gets released on home or on Disney Plus, it's going to have the 97, and that's how they're going to get around like the Lucas, not shitting in Lucas's cereal to basically like it's Lucas's film. Doesn't matter what the fuck happened. Like, I don't care what all the fan, whatever. It ultimately comes down to that. So I'm really wondering if they're going to say this one fucking time only, we're going to screen it this way. And then when it comes out on Disney Plus, it'll be the 97 4K remastered.
Oh, okay.
Total assumption, or 2004, because there was actually some more adaptions made then. But I don't know. But I'm just the way it's worded, there's some potential there that this is like a one-time thing. And if it is, I hope I can get a ticket, because it will be a very fucking hard to get ticket if that is if it truly comes out that this is the only time that this is going to happen. It will not be available to anyone after this. Like, that is going to be a very hard ticket to get. That's going to be it'll be tough.
That will be Tad will take off time from work to be able to see this if he has to.
I mean, and the thing is though, is I'm not one of those hardcore like give me the original versions. Like, I already have them on DVD anyway, so it's like I don't know. And I will say,
yeah, they are down there.
They're down there. So yeah, and that's the ones I grew up on, right? I wore out 2 or 3 VHS copies before 97 happened. So like, but I've never been a hardcore like, oh, I've got like whatever, like I've got a copy on my shelf. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, there's some Star Wars fans that don't like the Lucas edition and stuff
Exactly.
like that, and it's just like they don't want it. So
yeah, and that's not me. So I've there's not a single change that Lucas made that I hate.
Gotcha.
But I certainly want to go see it, just if nothing else, to celebrate the 50th. And anytime I get an opportunity to see Star Wars in theaters, I'll take it for sure. But if we end up finding out that this is a very limited thing, it's gonna be tough to get tickets.
I have not seen episode 4 in theaters.
Oh, so there you go.
4, 5, and 6 are the only Star Wars I haven't seen in theaters.
Yeah.
Because I missed episode 1. I wasn't that huge into Star Wars in 99. I went and saw episode 2 and 3 with you.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 9, obviously, with you.
Yeah, Rogue One, Solo.
4, 5, and 6, have they come back to theater since we've been friends?
Only for like the marathons. I've done 2 marathons now.
Yeah, I've never done a marathon, so I've never done that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've seen episode 4, 5, and 6 in theaters.
Okay.
So we'll have to we will have to see this.
Yeah, for sure. It is your favorite after all.
It is. It's the best one.
Well, I don't know about that.
It is.
Oop, that's the wrong pedal. Next up,
I thought I did that because I pushed a button to go over. I was like, oh, shit.
So next up, Star Wars Starfighters, the Sean Levy film, has nabbed the legendary Thomas Newman for the score. So Thomas Newman has had 15 Oscar nominations. Some of his brilliant scores are things like The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, Skyfall, 1917, Scent of a Woman, just to name a couple. So
he did Skyfall?
Yeah, he's
all right. I'm on board.
He's a fucking he's one of those ones that, like, I feel like there's like a tiered system where it's like there's John Williams, that's the fucking
and there's everybody
that's the son. And then I feel like in like the latter years, like Hans Zimmer is Jupiter, and then there's just everyone else. And like, but I do think there's some guys that don't get enough credit, and Newman is definitely one of them. Like, I feel like I listen to Newman scores. He's up there. He's one of those underrated ones where it's like, oh yeah, I've like listened to a lot of his scores quite a bit.
I honestly do not know his name, but hearing his resume, I realized that I really like his compositions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Composure would not leave my mouth. That was the word I was fumbling over.
Yeah. And then
That's
last up, make sure I got the right fucking pedal this time. There we go. We've got Scarlett Johansson joining the Batman 2.
I'm Batman.
Wrong Batman.
I mean,
yes.
You don't have the right Batman for me, Tad. I work with what I got.
You've never asked.
I've asked for a lot of things that you haven't put on my soundboard.
I haven't looked at the list in a long time, actually. So there's even been some that I've thrown out there.
You've had me ask write down some that have been on there for like a year.
No, not that long.
Yes.
No, there's been a couple this year that I haven't got around to. No.
I can prove it. We have the receipts, Tad. We are recording every episode. So when you said, how do we not have any Simpsons on here? aside from Burns and the rake, and I go, we should get
And
more
Barney.
Simpsons.
We've got a lot of Simpsons. We've got Barney.
You've said
That's-
you want.
in fact,
you said
that's-
you wanted more.
Just hook it
That's-
to my veins!
It's on my pedal, so that's a high level one there. So
There's quite a few on here that we don't have. But yeah, this is.
we got Mole Man too.
Are you saying boo?
Boo words. We do have quite a bit of Simpsons.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is very exciting because I think I know what this is, and I knew what it was going to be the second I saw this. Before you sent me that reel.
Okay, so let me just throw some context out there first.
Okay.
The rumors we've been hearing are this film is going to be very Bruce Wayne focused.
Yes.
Does her joining this fit your thoughts with
100%.
with that in context of Bruce Wayne? Because essentially like the thought that we've been kind of hearing is like the first one was almost no Bruce Wayne. It was largely it was Batman.
It's Batman coming into his own to be the hope of the city.
Yeah, and there's
versus vengeance. That was the
Yeah.
transformation that we got for the Batman in the first one. The second one is the idea is that we're going to see what Bruce Wayne can do on top of Batman being hope. So
Yeah.
and maybe even some backstory with Batman with Bruce Wayne and who he is and where he's at and everything like that. He almost lost Alfred in the first movie and everything. So this fits perfectly with the best animated Batman movie of all time.
yeah, which
And that's
is
The Mask of the Phantasm.
okay. I didn't know that was a lady. I don't know if I swear I've seen it,
Mhm.
but I probably watched it back in the 90s when it probably aired. It was probably the last time I've actually watched it. I will say I think you've told me to watch it since.
I have.
I
have.
But yeah, I have not. Also, so some clarification. The talk is that she is still attached to Mike Flanagan's The Exorcist, but she did drop out of the latest soulless Disney live action remake, Tangled, and an indie crime drama, Featherwood, to make room for working on The Exorcist and the Batman 2, which both might be filming around the same time.
Yeah.
So she might be splitting. She might have to film like all of her scenes for Batman or all of her scenes for Exorcist and then jump to the other one type thing. But she did drop 2 movies that she was previously attached to. So, yeah. So what do you like? Again, you said that you think that fits with the whole Bruce Wayne thing. Give me kind of a TLDR because I don't remember. That's 30 years ago, probably that I would have watched the cartoon.
Basically, this movie's made in between the first and second season of the Batman the Animated Series. So we got Kevin voicing Batman, and basically while he is Batman, he is falling in love with this woman, Andrea Beaumont. He falls in love with her hard. He's to the point where he's going to his parents' graves asking for their permission to stop being Batman and go be happy. Like, the city's not getting any better.
Which would give Pattinson a lot to work with there.
It would. There's this whole scene with him in the rain at his parents'. I just want to be happy. I don't want to let you down, kind of thing. Andrea Beaumont. I don't know if you want to Google her and look at the animated version of her. She is a redhead. She is supposed to be quite stunning and everything. So basically, Bruce has this idea that he's going to stop being Batman and go marry this woman. He has like a ring. He's ready to propose to her. And then she just breaks it off and disappears. And you come to find out that she is the daughter of one of the biggest mobsters in Gotham.
Okay, I also did hear that Zoe Kravitz is not in the film, so no Catwoman.
No Catwoman. She's gone.
Yeah,
she.
I mean, it makes sense for
the way that
we've
it left.
seen.
Yeah,
but they have pretty much confirmed that not confirmed fully, but there's been a lot of talk that she's not going to be in this next film. So, yeah.
So this is young Bruce as well. Like the story for this is taken from year 2, comic book art.
And is it pretty grounded in terms of? I mean, not that we have to be fully grounded in this universe, but does it fit with what we saw with the Batman?
It does. It does. He falls in love with her. She breaks it off, breaks his heart, which makes him just fully commit to Batman. Also gives you kind of the a little bit more adult, stoic Batman versus the moody teenager Batman.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of, when you get your heart broken and you're just done with love kind of thing. That's the Batman that comes out of the other side of this. But then what happens is years later, this Mask of the Phantasm, this phantasm starts showing up with a hook on its hand, starts killing mobsters.
Yeah.
Do they deserve it? Probably.
Which makes sense with the Penguin.
Penguin. We
'cause
got a lot of.
we already know Colin Farrell is in the film. He's already pretty much confirmed. It's a much smaller role than he had the first time. Not that it was a big role in the first one, but I think he was trying to like get people's expectations to the right point, because I think after the Penguin show, I think there were some people that were going to think like, oh, he's going to be like the second lead of this movie.
Yeah.
And Collins threw some water on that, where it's like, no, I'm in it, but it's not a massive part or anything.
Yeah.
So
And you saw in the Penguin show that it's set up that there's multiple families here, not just the Maronis and the Falcones. There are other mob families here
yeah,
that are a part of it. Now, the thing that it would be is that Beaumont Sr., Andrea's dad, is murdered by one of these guys. They don't know, she doesn't know who, so she becomes the Mask of the Phantasm, spoiler, and starts killing them.
yeah.
And so Batman has to fight the Mask of the Phantasm, not knowing who it is.
And then Joker gets
And then what
roped
happens
in too,
is
because
that
there's been talks that Joker might be in the next film.
what happens, the mob looks for someone to handle the Phantasm, and the Joker is basically a hired gun because he was a member of the Beaumont family before he became the Joker.
Yeah,
So that's kind of a different origin story for Joker, which we already have in the Batman universe.
Yeah.
He's locked up in Arkham.
and that wasn't a deleted scene, right? We actually
Nope,
have
that was the
a
end
canon
credit
scene.
scene. Yep.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep thinking that there's a deleted scene
Nope.
that I keep trying to conflate
I
as
think
though
there
it's.
I think that there is a deleted scene with him, where you actually see him. That's
what
deleted.
that's what it is.
But
yeah.
him talking to the Riddler about having a friend and stuff like that in Arkham is a full scene that's in the movie.
Okay.
So what a lot of people are speculating on what we could see is that he was a mobster hitman who killed Andrea Beaumont's dad,
Yeah.
and now she's going after all the mobsters, and he's locked up in Arkham. So is he going to get busted out to go after the Phantasm? Is she going to break into Arkham to try and get to him?
Yeah.
Is Batman going to have to protect the Joker? Because that's one of the interesting fight aspects of Mask of the Phantasm. There's this whole fight where Joker's running from the Phantasm, and the Phantasm's chasing the Joker while also at the same time running from Batman, who's trying to stop her from murdering the Joker.
Yeah, I think it also fits with the Matt Reeves said that it's a villain that's never really been done before.
Mask of the Phantasm's never been done in live action.
But yeah, he said never really been done, which is like, okay, there's a wiggle room in there. It's like,
Yep.
what does that mean? It's like, but if Mask of the Phantasm was a film animated before,
Right.
you'd be a liar to say that it's never been done on film before.
Mm-hmm.
So like that fits too.
Because it was,
I'm thinking
it was
of
a feature film.
I'm thinking of all the puzzle pieces that we've had up to this point, and yeah, I mean, I think this kind of fits across the board. It would be interesting because I think Penguin then is almost going to be more of an expert into the crime world, because he would have been too low down the chain to have been a suspect, right?
Right.
So maybe he's even just trying to fill the vacuum
Well,
that's being
also-
created as she's offing people. Maybe he's just sitting there trying to like eat up, because he was like a low end under Falcone, even in the first movie, to the point where he's just moving up out from under that to where it's like, I don't know if he would have been high enough to been like the one that ordered the
No.
execution of her dad type
No.
thing, right? So
He wouldn't be. I think it's setting up Penguin perfectly to be the major bad for the third movie, where it's the Penguin's in charge. Oh fuck, what are we gonna do? And then maybe we have another villain or two team with him to try and kill the Batman, kind of thing.
yeah,
He's the head of the mob families. You have someone else who has special interest, maybe
Yeah.
a Freeze or someone like that. Something like that.
has HBO Max shit the bed, or is that animated one on there, or is it one of the ones? Because I know they keep fucking
It
everything up.
is. It is not. It's
I think-
produced. It's produced by there, but I don't think
You know
that
what?
it's one that's constantly on there.
It doesn't matter actually, because I think I own it, because I think it came in that animated series box set, didn't it?
Not for me. It didn't.
Batman. Let's see what I've got here. Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins, Forever Returns.
It is on. It is
yeah,
on.
Mask of the Phantasm.
It is on HBO Max.
I got it in my collection too.
'Kay.
So yeah.
I had to buy it separately from the animated bundle that I bought. So
oh,
it is, but it is on Max right now, is what it says.
Okay.
So.
And then is Sub-Zero. What's the other really good animated movie? Is that the Mr.
The
Freeze
Killing
one?
Joke.
No, there's in the 90s. I thought there was two really big, really well loved animated ones that they did. And I thought the other one was Mr. Freeze. The Mask of the Phantasm's the other one. What's the one that kind of redefined Mr. Freeze as like the tragic?
That was in the animated series. That wasn't a movie.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, so that is that'll pretty much do it for this episode. Good stuff. I'm excited. I think Scarlett Johansson's obviously a great actor. Glad to see her not fucking wasting her time on a fucking Disney live action movie. Also, hopefully this can pull her away from doing more Jurassic nonsense because that's stupid.
Yeah.
Although it made money, so whatever. I'm just salty because like there's one of the greatest movies of all time, and just been disappointment after another for the sequels. But yeah, no, I think that, and also that we're gonna now add someone that's on both ends of the spectrum, Marvel and DC.
Yes.
So we haven't really seen her play villains very often either. Scarlett Johansson.
I can't think of a single one.
She's usually pretty heroic in most of her stuff, or whatever. So yeah,
but this is not necessarily a villain. It's a tragic hero kind of thing.
I mean, not a villain for me. Killing fucking people, that's the right thing to do if you're in a place like Gotham. I've said it before. Punisher would clean up Gotham in a week.
No. Oh, the only two animated Batman movies to come out in the 90s were Mask of the Phantasm and Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero.
Okay, so maybe the Freeze ones, yeah, I don't know.
Again, Mask of the Phantasm is a 7.8 on IMDb. Sub-Zero has 7.1. So
okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that is it for this episode. Let's go ahead and jump on over and show. I guess I could do the emails. I lost my slide. Where did it go? I guess I'll go to the first one. Oh. My fucking camera keeps disappearing on slides. And I did the email slide earlier and it was there. And then I just pulled it up. So I'll do the emails first real quick. If you want to email the show, you can do that. Peter at geekeryabides.com or Tad, Tadd, at geekeryabides.com.
Yep.
And then, next time we are doing our 2026 pop culture look ahead. So I will, again, that's not even a fortnight from now. We got a day less than that because it's not Friday the 19th. But yeah, I'll basically look ahead of everything that we're looking forward to in the new year. I know that a lot of the movies are already kind of in place, but we're going to talk through it all, talk about our hopes, our expectations. We'll also talk about some TV shows, which I've yet to even do a lot of research in.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's probably a lot of stuff because, again, we're still kind of getting that log jam of the strikes and then COVID out.
Yep.
So I feel like 25, 26, and 27 are just, and 25 is even the lightest of the three. So I think 26 and 27 are just like fucking wall to wall. There is just shit everywhere.
I mean, we looked at our schedule for next year and it's pretty much filled in already.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of that too is like we will go through and list off what we have already. I think card subject to change because we never know. Because I mean, there's also like TV shows that we know are coming that like we don't have an account for.
I mean, there's a new TV show that I found out about last week. I think I mentioned it to you that they got another Yellowstone spinoff coming next month.
Oh yeah,
next month or February. One of the
might be one of the last ones, right? Because he just moved to another studio.
It's Casey. It's Marshals. Like he's gonna be a U.S. Marshals protecting people. So it's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like totally didn't hear anything about this, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
here we go. Big
Marvel year. You know, we got Spider-Man and we got Doomsday next year.
Yes,
so
we do.
Looking forward to
Luckily,
that.
they're split up though. They're not like Superman and
luckily
Fantastic Four last year. They're not like back to back.
Yeah.
They're not, because it makes the rest of the year just be like,
well, they're both Marvel, so there's no way they would do that. So
I know that's what.
Plus
we've had May and July before. I prefer July and December. I prefer that just personally because that means that after December, it's less time to wait for Secret Wars.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Daredevil season 2 is next year.
It is.
So
yeah,
there's no way that our schedule is going to be 100% solid. Nope. There's going to be some wiggle room.
That comes out in February, doesn't it? Or March?
I don't know if they've announced. I think they've said that it's early in the year, but I don't know that they've actually given us a full-on date yet. We're getting close to the point of getting a date, though, because it is December now. So if it is first quarter, then we're probably going to be hearing an announcement for it here fairly soon. Because, again, TV shows usually...
tentatively set for March 4th, 2026, according to this.
Tentatively, though.
Tentatively.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that's confirmed by Disney or anything.
Yeah.
That's just what the Google AI tells me.
Yeah, that's to be trusted.
That's always accurate,
yeah,
right?
One of the dumbest AIs there is Google, man. I don't know. Like I just got something about my phone. Oh, it's now integrated where like the whole assistant that you normally have is now more AI integrated. I'm like,
disable.
I'm like, yeah, all the AI I've ever tried to use on Google is usually pretty fucking stupid. So I don't know if that's more of a bug than a feature.
Not that AI is stupid. We're not saying that.
Oh, it is.
Please don't electric teeth us.
John Connor for life. That's all I'm saying. All right. So yeah, we'll be back in 13 days for the look ahead. I'm really excited for 26 and 27, dude. Those 2 years are just like fucking great. I can't wait. So yeah, and then that'll wrap us for the year. So excited for wrapping this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna start next year by looking back on this year and kind of probably do some rankings of like, hey, overall what's your top 10 favorite geeky things that came out in 25. We'll kind of recap. We also So good stuff.
I just had a thought in my head, like, why don't we swap those 2 episodes? Have the look ahead for 26 in January and the look back in December. But then
we
realized
talked about that.
I realized there's still stuff that comes out after we have our last episode. I mean, Avatar comes out.
Avatar and
Dune 3
Yeah.
comes out. Those both come out after our 2025 recap would happen.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So that's we talked about it at one point. We realized no, this is the perfect way to do it. So, looking forward to it. And I will sign off as I always do by saying, love what you love, let your geek flag fly high, and to hell with anyone that says anything to you about guilty pleasures.
In honor of Gary Oldman, get away from my godson.
Thought you were gonna push the button, but that works. All right, Gary for life. Gary is eternal. See you guys.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The button's going away, sir.
No, it's not.
It'll vanish. You watch.
Never.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, everyone.